Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's matchup between the visiting Sheffield Steelers and your very own Cardiff Devils! Starting with number 2, Mission Burrito sponsor Carl Hudson. 12, Live Lounge sponsor Guillaume Doucette. 16, Beer Keller sponsor Chris Jones. 17, Eclipse Label sponsored Mark Richardson. 20, Glenmore Consultancy sponsored Gleason Fournier. 21, Wessex Garage sponsored Luke Piggott. 24, Royal Welsh Army sponsored Andrew Hotham. Number 25, Ryan Russell. 27, MH Flooring sponsored Joey Haddad. 33, Puckstop.com sponsored Ben Bounds. 41, Chris Fletcher Plumbing and Gas sponsored Josh Batch. 43, General Communications sponsored Mike Will. 47, Excellence IT sponsored Jake Morissette. 57, CDRA sponsored Chris Culligan. 67, Digital Profile sponsored Zach Hervato. Number 71, your player coach, CDC Specialist sponsored Andrew Lord. Number 74, EJ & Co sponsored Trevor Hendricks. Number 88, Cardiff Bat Test sponsored Joey Martin. And number 91, Manic Mechanic sponsored Thomas Kirka. Ladies and gentlemen, your Cardiff Devils. Now I'd like to welcome both captains to center ice for tonight's ceremonial puck drop. We got Dan Lewis from IceTime.TV, the Devils' title sponsor and home of the best webcast in the league. Thank you, Dan. Now I'd like you all to be upstanding, remove your caps and hats as we join Beth Millard in the singing of the Welsh National Anthem.
My hen vlad van hadayan anoili me, glad by the cantorion erwogion ovri. I guro revelwin, glad barwir tramad, trosradydd kohlasant, I gwaed. Glad, glad, plaid your oy ddim glad, tramor yn fyr, i'r byd hoff bai, o'r bai dan i'r heniaeth bai.
It's first v second in the Elite League, in the race for that Elite League Championship, and it's just got a big match feel tonight, just as it seems to have done the last couple of weekends. Alan Lloyd alongside John Donovan here, live on IceTime.TV. I think I know your name by now, John. Starting goaltenders for the Cardiff Devils, it's Ben Bounds in goal. And he comes in with a 2.50 goals against average, .919 save percentage. Marek Pinch for the Sheffield Steelers, 2.71 goals against average, 0.895 save percentage. And that's going to be an interesting battle. We talk about how good Ben Bounds has been for the Devils, John. Pinch has been good, mostly of late for the Steelers, but find it a little tough in this building.
Yeah, it was yourself and Gareth on last time, and I was a spectator up in the stands, and you watched the game a little bit differently from up there. But looking at Pinch, I just felt in the small confines of this arena where netminders do struggle coming in, he played very deep in his net and allowed a lot of bodies to get to the front of the crease. There were a couple of what you might call garbage goals, secondary goals off rebounds, and I think he just needs to be a little bit more aggressive in this building tonight. That would provide a foundation for the Sheffield Steelers in front of him.
Tom Darnell is the referee, and interestingly, the Devils with a bit of a huddle around the bench and almost seem to be making Tom Darnell wait for things, and it's going to be Jeff LeGuille take the draw up against Andrew Lord for this opening face-off in this huge match. The Steelers who win the draw, Matthew Waugh will get that back to his defenseman Jace Coyle, and that one will get played just about out of the zone. No, it isn't. It gets fired in on Pinch. He'll just play the puck himself. The Steelers will eventually get out that zone, and here's Chris Culligan out there, and we'll just get a we get a hit off the play there. And John, did you see a bit more of that one than me?
I didn't. I was following the puck, but Andrew Lord was struggling, and referee Darnell blew it down straight away. So we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, last night against the Belfast Giants, there was a huge incident on the first shift when Matt Nicholson left the game and didn't return, and Andrew Lord, we know he's a warrior, but right now he's in pain. We'll wait to see whether he can take the next shift, but he looks in a great degree of discomfort over on the bench right now. He'd be a huge loss on that energy line along with Chris Culligan and Joey Haddad, that's been so good in recent weeks.
Just 20 seconds gone in this first period then. The Devils will make a change there, as do the Steelers. Connie Stromberg is back into the lineup there, and that'll get rimmed around the boards by Russ Moyer. All the way down though, and we'll get an icing. So a little bit of a stop-start beginning to this one.
You mentioned that Stromberg is back in the lineup, Ala. Just touching on the scratches or players missing tonight, it looks like Dowd Mosienko and, of course, long-term injury victim Colton Fretter is missing from the Steelers. And for the Devils, Tyson Marsh and Lee Salters continue to miss out, with Mark Smith a healthy scratch. But you would think that's a huge loss for the Steelers, Dowd and Mosienko not being able to go in the big blue tent this evening.
Steelers good on these first couple of draws. They get a chance to get it out here. This Russell, Pavato and Morissette line in the absence of Salters. Russell slotted in with a goal and an assist last night in the first period of his first game for a Cardiff Devil, and he was impressive, the ex-NHLer.
He was. We interviewed him after the game, and we talked about the fact he just kept the game simple. Even an ex-NHLer can get nervous when you haven't played for 8-9 months, and you can tell that he skates very, very well. You have to if you played in the NHL, the AHL, the top Swedish league. Very good defensively, but with that offensive upside, and 1+1 in the first period last night, you can't really wish for more on your debut.
We get a look at the third line coming out for the Steelers now. Debian is out there with Phillips and Hewitt, who's likely going to get a regular shift tonight, as there's a hit off the play there, but the play continues, and Chris Culligan will work with the puck now. Andrew Lord is back out on the ice for the Cardiff Devils. Joey Haddad is there. This has been a good unit for the Devils. Shot fired in with a backhand try on Pinch, who had the easy save. But this has been a good unit, especially in this building, for getting that cycle going down low for the Devils. The big bodies out there with Lord and Haddad on the wings of Chris Culligan, who had a goal of his own last night. The game winner, in fact. That one is just about handled well enough by Haddad. We won't get any penalties or anything here, as it fired into his own bench. In just a minute and 18 seconds gone, a totally different start to this game than what we saw last night, and indeed the week before against the Panthers.
And a stop-start beginning to the game, which I think will suit the Steelers, just take the crowd out of it a little bit. Paul Thompson, I think, knows that the Steelers need to grind this one out tonight, and allowing the Devils to be a bit fragmented at the start of this game is to their benefit, I would think.
Lead passes there for Kirk, and he might be away here, but good coverage it was. Ben O'Connor initially, and then Jace Coyle, and a nice move around the outside it is. Means that Ryan Hayes has it, tries to find a Matthew Waugh out front, then a slip by Coyle almost sets things up, but the Steelers regain possession in the neutral zone. Hayes will find Waugh, and we hear the chemistry was good there last night between those two. Matthew Waugh has been on fire since coming back into the lineup for the Steelers following that injury. No ice on the play, so Kirker will put pressure on Pinch, but the Steelers do get it out the zone. Still 2 minutes gone, just 2 minutes gone in this first period, and we wait for the touch paper to be lit between these two big clubs with so much on the line, even this early in the season. And they meet again, of course, in Sheffield next weekend. So you feel that this home and home series over the start and end of the week are going to be pivotal Vesberg will get the shot in on Bounds, who has an easy save that time. Then a good bump in the corner, but out come the Steelers again. Levi Nelson it is. Looks for the pass to Frederick Vesberg, but no good, and Jake Morissette turns it over, then fires that in. He's out there with Russell and Havato on this New Look Devils third line, with Lee Salters out of the lineup with that injury at the moment. And away they go. Good speed it is. Levi Nelson will shoot, and it's straight into Ben Bounds, who makes a good save there. But there we just see the direct play and the good speed of Levi Nelson there. Bounds did well to hold on. 17-15 left in the first.
The Steelers will try and keep it simple tonight, go north-south pretty quickly, and Levi Nelson has been impressive when we've seen him this season. He brings a little bit of size, he can play the body, but his stick handling is very good. I like it when he plays down low, got good vision, sees guys coming late into the high slot and around the dot area, always distributes the puck very well. So Levi Nelson definitely a player to look out for tonight for the Sheffield Steelers.
Steelers' third line gets out there now, and it's a good face-off draw won by Hewitt, allows Jonathan Phillips to work. His 10th season with the Steelers. Joey Haddad has it now. Haddad with a nice play up to Chris Culligan. Lord is there at speed now, looking like he doesn't feel any ill effects of that early hit on the what looked like a knee. Might be a chance out front, but it's good play. It was Zach Fitzgerald there just commanding that area in front of Marek Pinchot so well, and he's going to be a vital cog for the Steelers in the small confines of the big blue tent. Tom Darnell waves off any notion of a hand pass. 3 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the first. Batch will have to work hard down low under pressure, but he does well. Here's Andrew Lord. Culligan is an option for him, but instead Haddad will take it on over the blue line. Haddad shoots, looking to use Cullen Eddy as a screen, and it'll fly into the netting. We get another whistle with just 3.5 gone in the first.
Well, Zach Fitzgerald will be a very, very important cog for the Steelers tonight, but taking him out of the equation, maybe you've got the two teams tonight with the best puck-moving offensive defenseman in the league. You think of the Steelers, Cullen Eddy scored the game-winning goal last night. O'Connor high up in the points tally. Coyle is a very good skater, Moyer, and of course on the other side, Hudson, Fournier, Richardson. This defenseman could be very important tonight in terms of the offensive prowess in this game.
Devils just keep it in the zone through Thomas Kirker, one player who's so effective in perhaps preventing. They score! Thomas Kirker!
Big goal, big start for the Devils. That's a lovely one-timer from Thomas Kirker, but for him to skate into that area, you've got to think that the Sheffield defensive coverage has broken down a little bit. We'll try and see on the replay who perhaps was the man responsible for missing his assignment on Kirker. Maybe the angle's not quite with us, but a turnover as Kirker initially wins the puck back off Hayes. Lovely give and go behind the net. And Kirker there, it's Hayes probably who doesn't bring himself back into the play. O'Connor doesn't close the gap, and Kirker's got too much room for Paul Thompson's liking to skate around the dot area. Lovely one-timer though, 1-0 Cardiff Devils.
Kirker is 18th for the season, and he's had a habit of scoring big goals in big games as Thomas Kirker this year, and that's another one there to get the Devils the lead early on in what's been a pretty much scrappy start, and really the first good scoring opportunity. Gleason Fournier doesn't quite get that one out of the zone, and here come the Sheffield Steelers straight back. Shot comes in from Nelson. Good sharp save it was from Bounds with the right blocker. Rod Sarich will go back D to D. The puck is moved up, and into the zone they go through Levi Nelson. Connie Stromberg will go chasing after that puck. But the Devils find an outlet there. Jake Morissette will look to get that past Cullen Eddy, does well. Rod Sarich misses it. The Devils might set something up, but a good play it was. And Jason Hewitt allows the Steelers to clear the zone. Good battle along that blue line, and it's the Steelers who get the better of it, but Guillaume Debienne has lost his stick, and we'll get a whistle. 5:18 left in the first.
Well, I think he lost his stick because there was a slash on the play, and indeed it is Sakavato going to the penalty box, just caught himself a little bit behind there, and had to slash to take the try and negate the play, and this gives the Steelers a chance. Just going back a moment ago, and maybe we'll get a chance to see a replay on it. I think that's a huge save from Ben Bounds off Nelson. In terms of the situation, the Devils having a 1-0 lead on the shift back, the Steelers with a great response, Nelson getting in clear sight, but a big save by Bounds.
Steelers don't have the greatest power play, but it is better on the road, up and around 21%, although that might not be as much of a factor in this building, so different are the dynamics and angles. The big blue tent, good chance it was out front. Matthew Waugh, who seems like an immovable object out there, he's so good screening the goaltender, looking for those tip-ins, and he's right there now. Two men there, in fact, for the Steelers. Nelson joins it. Good block it was out front that time from Joey Martin. Might have to do it again. He does, and that's going to sting if he's got the energy in his legs. He get away here. Joey Martin away looking for the backhand, and he's crowded out in the end, but kills some valuable time for the Devils. 1:20 left for the Steelers on the power play. A valiant shift from Joey Martin, one of the offensive leaders. The Steelers do get in the zone this time. The Devils can't clear, so Nelson will work it down low to Matthew Waugh. Still the same unit there for the Steelers, but that's an easy clearance. The Devils will make some changes, as do the Steelers. 1 minute exactly left in this Steelers power play, the first for either side in this game. Nearly 6 minutes gone in the first. That one's rimmed around the boards, and with the puck now is Guillaume Debienne. Debienne works inside, just fires that cross ice, but it's mishandled there off the saucer pass by Connie Stromberg, but he did well to regain possession. Back behind the goal it is now, and now with Stromberg again. Good stick there from Gleason Fournier. That might have been a gilt-edged chance for the Steelers in the slot. 28 seconds left to work with on this power play. Here's Ryan Hayes at speed. Connie Stromberg looks to work inside. Chance it is, and another good stop from Ben Bounds, who made a good deflection there to get that away from trouble. Jace Coyle has it now, walking the line. Goes to Stromberg, again a good pass, cross ice. Shot comes in, another good save it was. Out front was Frederick Vesberg. This looks a good unit for the Steelers. Devils back to full strength, but the Steelers might get another chance. It's there, deflected play, and that's Frederick Vesberg again. With too much time for the Devils liking out front, but they've killed this one off. And Havato is away at speed, splits the D. Havato in on goal, shoots, big save it was. Marek Pinch there on Zach Havato. 13:04 left in the first.
Huge save. The Steelers power play there. I thought the second unit looked better. Stromberg and Vesberg on the ice there. You've got two guys who can really distribute that puck, but it was a great kill from the Devils with a couple of heroic shot blocks, then a fantastic lead pass. Havato going in on net, but the Sheffield defenseman did enough, keeping him to his backhand side. The backhand shot was well saved by Pinch.
Zach Havato there will battle in the draw, but the Steelers don't get it out. That one gets fired in, but it's wide of Pinch, and Rod Sarich will chase in his 10th season for the Steelers as well. Now it's there with Russ Moyer, but it's turned over. Chris Jones gets the shift after the Devils kill that penalty. It's now there with Jake Morissette battling up against Rod Sarich. The Steelers have possession and look to break the speed. Nice 1-2 tic-tac-toe play. Jason Hewitt, though, is offside, and we'll get a whistle with 12:36 left in the first.
It does sound very trite, though, but we talk a lot about teams having to move from the big ice to small ice. Last night, Belfast Giants, their first couple of power plays maybe suffered a little bit. I've been fortunate enough to go to Sheffield a few times this year and commentate with Seth Bennett, and we commented a couple of times that with the slightly bigger zones at the Sheffield Arena, Sheffield defensemen have been pivotal on the power play, an extra foot or so to back up, control the play, walk the line. They don't have that time or room in the big blue tent, and maybe it's going to take a few power plays to get accustomed to that.
Devils can't quite get it deep into the zone, allows the Steelers a chance to break, which they do. They get it up to Matthew Waugh, and he'll put pressure on Thomas Kirker now. Kirker gets it round to Andrew Hoffman, almost turns it over to Ryan Hayes there, but away from the Devils. Here's Thomas Kirker up on the wing, now ghosting inside, looking to find an outlet, just gets taken down behind the goal by Cullen Eddy, but still with the puck is Kirker eventually dispossessed, and the Steelers will dump that in on Ben Bounds, who'll just handle that puck around to Andrew Hoffman. 12:02 left in this first period. Pinching him was Jeff LeGuy, but Doucette makes a nice play up to Kirker, who then finds Joey Martin with a nice wheels to get around the outside of Levi Nelson, and he'll go for a change. Almost turned over there by Coyle, but both teams will make the changes they want and get the matchups they want out there. And that is the good lead pass up to Stromberg. Nice saucer play to the back door there. It's Levi Nelson. This has been a good looking line so far. Big hit. Trevor Hendricks just crushes Nelson in the corner, but the Steelers still have the zone time. Back with Nelson it is now on the point. O'Connor shoots through traffic. The puck is loose in front of Ben Bounds. He doesn't know where it is, but it's wide of him for now. Good pressure from the Steelers, but then that one hops over Ben O'Connor's stick, and it's relief for the Devils with 11:17 left in the first.
Alan, I appreciate it was a healthy scratch last night, but I really like the look of Stromberg. He's got his stick on the ice the whole time. He's looking for the puck. We know from his stats he's a playmaker. He's got a lot of points in a lot of good European leagues, particularly Denmark. He looks a high-end player.
Paul Thompson thought his reaction to being scratched yesterday was a superb one. He came to work. He worked hard on the ice in training, and then offering to take notes and things like that, and that's a sign of veteran player. 40 years old now, Stromberg, and he's been there and done it, and that's a good sign.
Absolutely, and he wants to win a contract, but just looking at him, and I know this sounds silly because obviously you've got to skate a little bit with your stick up, but when the Steelers are in possession, his stick doesn't seem to leave the ice. If you watch him, the stick's on the ice, ready to receive a pass, ready for a one-timer. It's kind of an interesting stance he's got, but he just looks a very good player to me. He can obviously move the puck, distribute the puck very, very well.
Steelers do enough to win that draw, and the puck is cleared, but only as far as Carl Hudson, 1+2 last night for the Devils. Big power play goal as well. Here's Zach Avato, who started this game with a skip in his stride. That one gets fired in on bounds. We get a whistle, 10:38 left in the first.
And the Steelers have responded quite well since the goal. The Devils taking that 1-0 lead. They had the power play. I thought the second unit looked better. I think you're right. Vestberg and Stromberg are the two we've mentioned. Levi Nelson, I think, is looking good tonight. On the first shift of the game, I thought that Laguiwa-Hayes line looked to have a lot of energy about them and want to move the puck. So the Devils may want to look for a particular line match against that. We'll see as the evening goes on.
Yeah, and the Steelers perhaps with more offense on those top two lines than on their third line. The Devils, of course, we know have that offensive depth in all three lines. And that's the kind of thing they can work to their advantage as well in the Big Blue Tent, where they get the last change. It's there with Doucette now. He's got Kirker up on the wing, but that's just going to bobble over his stick and mean that Doucette is offside. But Kirker takes his time and gets that back to Hotham, and Hayes eventually turns the puck over off the loose pass. Good lead pass from Legui. He'll just tip that in. No ice on the play, so Matthew Waugh will put pressure on Andrew Hotham. Hotham there just takes too much time. Shot comes in, and it's Jeff Legui, and what a play again. That's Mark Richardson there. Hotham turns it over. Richardson with a good play. Maybe Bound's got a piece as well.
I think that's just credit to Mark Richardson, who's put off Jeff Legui there. It's Ryan Hayes, who is a bit of a kind of a buzzsaw. He goes around, and whilst he's a very good goal scorer, he does the dirty work as well. He'll go to the corners, he'll turn over pucks. For a small guy, he plays a big game, and he's looking to make an impression with the Sheffield Steelers. He created that turnover on Hotham, and Legui had a little bit of time, but Richardson getting over there, making a desperation play, just did enough to put the third highest score in the Elite League off.
We all know what Andrew Hotham can do. That's a good cut-out play from Zach Fitzgerald, but perhaps just one of those occasions there where you take a look who the opposition players are on the ice before you look to take that play out of your own zone. Levi Nelson seems to be in the thick of everything so far for the Steelers, and this line has been good. Hudson will go to Easton Fournier with a nice pass up to Jake Morissette. Huge hit from Zach Fitzgerald, absolutely level Jake Morissette, and sets up the offensive chance for the Steelers. Shot comes in and it sets the Devils on the back foot. The Steelers now look to build off that. Big hit comes in from Hudson on Levi Nelson just to answer that one back, but that was a bone cruncher there from Zach Fitzgerald. As clean a hit, as beauty as a hit that you'll see.
Well, that's three tonight. One on Lord, one on Avato, and that one there, and as you rightly say, all clean, all good. Zach Fitzgerald playing very well in this building.
And the Devils, of course, without Lee Salters in the lineup, just a little bit less toughness throughout the lineup to answer that call, perhaps not able to hit the bodies, but you can tell Andrew Lord has got a bit of a bee in his bonnet here, along with Joey Haddad, and then Lord battles down low. Then we get a cross-check, Fitzgerald and Haddad, and now we get a melee in front, and Fitzgerald has dropped the gloves with Haddad. Is that out there? Trevor Hendricks, my apologies. Hendricks and Fitzgerald are going to go, and Hendricks goes down from the punches to the helmet of Fitzgerald, and that's just Trevor Hendricks stepping up for his team.
He is. He's going to get the instigator penalty, I think, though, because Darnell made a signal, because Hendricks skated from the blue line to take that fight, and you're right, stepping up for his team, I've got no problem with. Fitzgerald, he's getting booed right now. I think he's doing an absolutely fantastic job for his team in this ring, playing a great physical game. Hendricks there, he'd had enough. Fitzgerald had laid a couple of hits. Hendricks thought he'd answer the call. He skated in from the blue line. From my eyes, we'll see what Darnell calls, but he pointed at Hendricks straight away. I think there's going to be an instigator call on that play, and the Devils might suffer a little bit, but Hendricks there, he is the team guy. He's got to step up, but Fitzgerald is having a huge impact in this building, and I've got absolutely no problem with what he's doing right now.
Are we going to see an initial 2 minutes on Fitzgerald for any cross-check there, or is that just good hard play in front of the net?
I think that's good hard play. There was no arm in the air, and I think he's got it right. There are a couple of love taps there. There's nothing too sinister in those, but I like Hendricks stepping up. There's been hits on his teammates, so I think that's the right time to take a fight. Obviously, the fight itself wasn't great, but both of those guys sitting in the penalty box right now, I've got absolutely no problem with what they've done so far this evening.
Absolutely, and you felt the way that Fitzgerald was playing, that you may see a reaction to that. We saw a slightly different dynamic last night where Matt Nicholson decided it was time on the opening face-off to put a marker down for his club, who'd had a few losses in a row. Fitzgerald goes about it in a different way. He says, hey, I'm going to play just the way I want to play in your building, and you're going to have to come after me if you want to stop it.
Well, I think you've made a great call. Fitzgerald is no mug. He's played, 400 AHL games. He's looked at the Devils lineup tonight. Lee Salters is in that lineup. I think he thinks he can play a more physical game, and obviously there was that great fight up in the Sheffield arena a few games ago, but Salters isn't a presence here tonight. I think Fitzgerald can step up and play that more physical game, and it's all clean. We should say it's all clean. He's doing nothing wrong so far. It's highly effective for the Steelers, but credit to Trevor Hendricks, always a guy who will stand up for his teammates.
So we're going to get an ice on the play there, and it looks as though everything's been evened out there, John.
Well, I like to see that. Let's keep it 5-on-5 hockey. It was just Darnell seemed to have eyes fixed on Hendricks as he skated in from quite a distance from the blue line to take the fight.
There was an interesting piece with Tom Darnell refereeing a game in Sheffield. There was a fight up there, and I think perhaps Ben O'Connor was involved in that fight, if I remember correctly, and he sort of said, well, both players knew what was happening there, and he had judged it to be 5 each, even though there wasn't much of a fight. And I wonder whether he's looked at that there and said, Fitzgerald knows he's going to get a reaction there, I'm going to just call this as it is, as a good hockey play for both sides.
I hope so, and if he has, I think that's great refereeing. Credit where it's due.
Here come the Steelers at speed. But a mishandle means the Devils will regain possession. It was out in the zone though, so Kirker will have to dump it in for Guillaume Doucette to chase. Good play down low from Ben O'Connor, but the Devils turn it over. Doucette will shoot, and it was well blocked out front in the end as the Devils are crowding that area in front of him. Might be a chance now as Kirker goes heads up and goes back to Andrew Hotham. Hotham D to D this time. Inside it is to Joey Martin. Now back to Mark Richardson working the corner there with Jonathan Phillips for company. 7:53 left in this first period, still 1-0 Devils. Good battle down low, and the Devils will try and bring that out of the corner. They bump into each other though, and that sets up a 3-on-2 situation for the Steelers, but Hewitt is at the end of a shift and will go and change, and O'Connor will just dump that in. Martin comes in with a nice hit on Ben O'Connor there and turns that over. Morissette is back and looking lively after taking that big hit from Zach Fitzgerald. The Steelers will dump that in the zone, and we do get icing called there, and that seemed to be extremely close to the Devils player. No call, 7:22 left in the first.
Well, I thought they might have just touched Hudson's stick there prior to it going behind the goal line, but Matt Rose, who did a great job refereeing last night in relief of Dean Smith, called that icing, and there was a little bit of a scrappy play there in the Sheffield zone, but they were having difficulty clearing the puck, and we saw last night against the Giants from both teams, you have to make sure you get your clearances in this ring with the small zones. Any turnovers, any bad turnovers immediately lead to a scoring chance.
Steelers there turn the puck over again in their own zone, eventually regain it. They've been reasonable in the face-off circle tonight, but then turned the puck over a few times quickly after the draw. Matthew Waugh will battle with Carl Hudson. Big hit again comes in, but 48 gets the better of that one. But the Steelers have been good and aggressive, and you can tell they've got the markings of a Paul Thompson side. He's going to make his side work hard here and give no quarter to this Devils team. Shot comes in, might be a chance there, but Pinch will hold on. 6:53 left, and then we get another little ruckus in front of the goal there, and you've got to love the way the Steelers have come into this building, the way they're playing the game. Matthew Waugh this time leading his side from the front.
And you've got to love the way the Devils are responding. Two teams, these are two top of the table teams going at it, and this is going to be a good one, folks. I've got to say, in his first few shifts, as we see Waugh and Havato continue to share sweet little nothings to each other, and we'll see if that develops. But Alan, for me, Ryan Hayes looks like a Sheffield Steeler. He looks like a goal scorer, a quality hockey player, but also with that nasty side, that edge, as we see a replay of that incident in front. Saric just not liking the net front presence there.
But again, that's good play from Havato, because that's a trade the Devils like. No penalties that time, but I seem to remember Matthew Waugh picking up a penalty last time in here when he went after Zach Havato. And for a player like Havato, who's that rink-rat kind of player against one of the league's best offensive talents, that's an exchange he's enjoying every minute.
Oh, agreed, and that's not devaluing what Zach Havato brings. He brings an offensive side as well, but Matthew Waugh is one of the elite players in this league. That is a good trade for the Cardiff Devils.
Here's Andrew Lord working that puck. 6:44 left, and the first shot comes in there, and again, a good chance for the Devils off the one-timer. That one gets flipped out, and Josh Batch will handle. No offside or icing on the play. Connie Stromberg will chase, but it's up to Andrew Lord. The Devils do get it out of the zone, but Cullinetti will fire it straight back in. Andrew Hotham will have to use his wheels to get away there, and he does. Good play from Lord as well with the outlet, and Chris Culligan will try and get that in the zone, but is turned over. Away come the Steelers again. Levi Nelson at speed. Good pass inside. Frederick Vesper back at try. Big save from bounds there. And this line looks to have so much chemistry in this building. Nelson there goes back to Stromberg. Vesberg is ghosting in at the back door. He has the puck now. 6 minutes left in this first period. Jace Coyle will fire that one in. It's there with Nelson. But the Devils do turn it over. Here's Chris Jones who will dump that puck in and chase while the Devils will make some changes. The hit comes in the corner from Russ Moyer. He's in a battle with Chris Jones while he waits for the cavalry to arrive. And here's Zacavado. Chance out front. Oh, it was in the skates in the end of Luke Piggott, this Devils fourth line shift, but the pass just went straight into his skates. And with the goal gaping there with Pinch not reading the play. And now we get a call, and the Devils are going to go to the power play.
And I think it's a retaliatory call, which is the worst call in hockey. Luke Piggott finishing his hit. It was behind the play. I didn't see it myself, but it's a slashing call. I saw Luke Piggott out of the corner of my eye finish his hit, which he's going to do. He's an energy player, and I think there's a retaliation call there on Jake Coyle, and that's not one he's going to like. When we talk about trades, the Steelers looking at losing a high-end defenseman there. But just going back, before the Devils had that scoring chance, boy, that Stromberg, Nelson, Vesberg line, they can all skate, they can all manage that puck. That's going to be a hard line to keep the puck off all night. They're really leading the charge so far for the Steelers.
And they look to have an instant chemistry as well. Shot comes in from Carl Hudson, and it was a good save. Hudson with a bomb last night. And got the power play goal. The Devils, of course, 3 from 3 on their first set of power plays. They eventually went 3 from 6 on the night. And the Steelers clear the zone, 1:40 left in this Devils power play, 5:08 on the period. Here's Andrew Hotham. And gets fired in, and it'll just deflect up into the netting. We'll get a face-off. 1:30 left on this power play, 4:57 in the first.
Just to correct myself from a few moments ago, I heard what I said in my head as I was saying it. Jeff LeGuy, not of course the third leading scorer in the league this season, although in seasons gone by he would have been right up there, but now the third leading scorer in all Elite League history and the highest scoring imports, and just a tribute to him. And we've watched him play so many times in Cardiff, formerly with Joey Talbot. That was one of the great 1-2 punches in this league. But Jeff LeGuy, he can run a power play, he's scored crucial goals, he's won so much hardware for the Sheffield Steelers. Always a player I've enjoyed watching, and still now, even with veteran status, a high-class player.
Usually very, very good against the Cardiff Devils as well. Devils on the power play here, 1:15 left. Moved out, chance there is, shot comes in, they score! Gleason Fournier is first as a Cardiff Devil.
Again, even short-handed, I think Paul Thompson's going to have problems there with defensive coverage. It's guys making late moves, coming to that high slot or dot area, and just no coverage around them. I think it's Morissette there with the great management of the puck, waiting for Fournier to make his move. We'll see the setup here. Doucette, great battling in the corner. Culligan goes after it as well, and it's Culligan, with the great pass. Fournier ghosting in from the blue line, and Hayes again maybe defensively is a little slow on his feet there to get the coverage. Welcome to the Cardiff Devils, Gleason Fournier, such an impressive performer in his 4 or 5 games since joining. He now gets his first goal, and what a big goal. 2-0 to the Cardiff Devils with 4 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the first period.
Devils power play is such a crucial weapon, and we talk about how the Steelers penalty kill on the road is not one of their best assets, and the Devils make it pay there with Fournier's first on the season, or at least as a Cardiff Devil. The Devils looking to create some more offense again, now straight with the Doucette, Martin Kirkeline back on the ice, and Hotham and Richardson. Down low with Thomas Kirke. Kirke looks for the pass out to Andrew Hotham with 4:10 left. Just fired in there, and it's just past Marek Pinch. Joey Martin is, well, he gets that back in the end, and Richardson will keep that in down low to Guillaume Doucette this time, with Martin going towards the net and Kirke out front. Good battle down low with Jace Coyle. He gave up that penalty that led to the goal and pushes that forward this time. Ryan Hayes, who then gets finished on in the corner. And the battle is there down low. Ryan Hayes then gets just a bump from behind as well, as the Devils will look to put pressure on him. A good debut for Hayes, and 3:36 left in the first period, but it's a tough axe coming into this big blue tent, and the Devils are all over him right now. Here's Jake Morissette though for the Devils as they make their changes. Hudson and Fournier back on the ice. Havato and Russell out there too. It's with Russell now. Russell just makes a play over to Morissette, but it's a good cut-out play from Connie Stromberg. Over it goes to Carl Hudson now. Good outlet there for Zach Havato. Havato is hassled by Levi Nelson, but eventually Hudson will get a chance to free that puck from the Steelers' forecheck. 3 minutes left in the first then. That's turned over. The Devils will come away with the puck. Here's Russell up along the wing to Zach Havato. Gets a bump from Rod Sarich. And the Steelers recover possession of the puck. 2:45 left in the first. Icing is the call, so we're just 2:41 left now. The Devils will get an offensive zone faceoff.
Well, both teams have been a little bit guilty at times of giving up the puck cheaply. Particularly though, I think the Sheffield Steelers, apart from that Nelson line with Stromberg and Vestberg, that's the line so far that's protected the puck the best for the Steelers and created scoring chances for them. The other two lines really need to come up to that standard to give the Steelers a little bit of a foothold in this game. The Devils, they're living a little bit on scraps. It's just the high pressured forecheck. It's turning over pucks in the Steelers zone and then generating scoring chances as a result. So it's not been a whole lot of great constructive play by the Devils, but just a high energy game, turning over pucks, and they've got the 2-0 lead as a result.
Devils win the draw, but it's just hops over the stick of Josh Batch. And he'll have it back now. 2:35 left in this first period. It goes up to Andrew Lord, but it's turned over there in the neutral zone. Trevor Hendricks is back on the ice, as is Zach Fitzgerald. Both combatants out there. Big hit again from Fitzgerald, who starts just where he left off before that scrap. Joey Haddad down low, and Andrew Lord is there. Lord in a battle with Fitzgerald now, and Culligan will shoot, it's there, just whistles wide of Marek Pincher. This is such a fascinating match, a big hit again in the corner. We're going to see a bit more here. Guillaume Debienne is on the ice, Josh Batch is there, and he's ready to go with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald and Batch with the bomb, but then Fitzgerald comes back. The helmet is loose on Fitzgerald. Good uppercuts as Batch tries to regain some control. Big right hand from Josh Batch right through on Fitzgerald, who's in his second fight of the night, as Batch goes toe-to-toe with one of the league's top heavyweights, but he's in that class too. A huge uppercut as well, as Fitzgerald has felt these bombs from Batch. The punch count is with Fitzgerald, but the quality was from Batch. What a play from Josh Batch there. Fitzgerald will sit for 5 more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Batch is a heavyweight. Zach Fitzgerald, not taking anything away from him. His first shift back out on the ice was still laying hits. Him and Andrew Lord were having a great battle. Josh Batch stepping in for his player coach, say, I'm prepared to go with you. Boy, what a fight. And Josh Batch to initially take that first punch and get up and stay with it. He is a very, very tough man. Zach Fitzgerald is a tough guy. They were landing bombs right there. The chances you got battered, he certainly didn't. That was a legitimate heavyweight fight with both guys going at it, and they took as many punches as they gave. Fitzgerald had the better of it early on. That punch there for Batch to come back up from that. Kevin Batch, watching at home, be very proud of your son on that one. But those guys continue to land bombs, and that's one of the best fights I've seen, not just this season, in my 30 years of watching Cardiff Devils ice hockey.
Credit to both men, the toughest job in hockey, as Andrew Lord described last night in reference to the Hendricks and Nickerson fight. That's 2 warriors going at it. Huge respect for both men, and what a fight that was, John.
Can I echo that? Huge respect for both men. Zach Fitzgerald is doing everything right in this building so far and playing that high-end physical game. Huge respect for both guys, taking punches, throwing punches. That's the fighting in hockey I think you want to see. Last night it was a stage. You had 2 tough heavyweights going at it from the first bell, but neither guy had warmed up, neither guy was really ready. I didn't think a fight like that particularly felt natural to me in the game. That felt like a natural fight there, and it was a quality fight, and Josh Batch rightly gets a standing ovation as he leaves the ice. Whether he needs a little bit of treatment, whether there's a little bit of blood, we're not sure. Well, we'll look forward to seeing a replay of that fight in the first period. We're looking to line up an interview for the second intermission, but in the first period, Alan, I think we've got enough highlights to talk about, including that heavyweight tilt.
Here's Joey Martin for the Cardiff Devils, gets stood up by Jonathan Phillips. through. Hotham has the puck now. The Devils are on the power play. 2 extra minutes for Fitzgerald for the initial rush. 5 for fighting for both men as well. Steelers get that out. Big moment in the hockey game. 1:30 left in the first. Fired in on goal. Chances out front is there with Morissette, who had acres of time and space but couldn't find a way through. Marek Pinch. Here's Hotham. The Devils 1 from 1 on the power play so far. Joey Martin down low. Martin. Russell has lost his stick out front. Shot comes in, and with all the net to aim for, somehow it didn't find a way through from Jake Morissette, and the Steelers will clear and get out of the zone at least. 109 on the period, 102 on the power play. That one's fired all the way down the ice.
For me, Alan, Pinch is still playing too deep in his net. He's basically playing behind the goal line. There's a lot of cross-crease passes going on from the Devils at the moment, finding players at the back door. He's got to play a little higher in that crease.
Shot comes in, and I don't think Pinch saw too much of that one either. It was screened on the play, but it was wide of the net. The Devils have 39 seconds to work with. Culligan goes down low to Joey Haddad. Guillaume Doucette is waiting for the opportunity there. Gleason Fournier is on the back end. Shot comes in, big save it was from Pinch that time, who got down well for the one-timer from Doucette. Fournier gets it down low. There's another chance there. Kirker has it now as the Steelers scramble, trying to kill this penalty, so it's not 3-0 at the end of this first period. Still an opportunity down there with 16 seconds left on the power play, and a good play it was from Matthew Waugh. Allowed the Steelers to clear the zone with 10 seconds left on the power play, 12 or so on the period. Gleason Fournier with speed tries to create one more chance for the Devils. 5 seconds left. It's fired in, and it was a good chance in the end as Fournier joined the rush. Steelers are back to full strength, but in 2 seconds, there it is. The buzzer sounds, and we've had just about everything in that first period. Heavyweight tilt between the league's best 2 sides, certainly on form at the moment, you would say. High caliber offense, some great goaltending, and one of the best fights we've seen for a number of years.
Oh, fantastic first period, and Zach Fitzgerald shouldn't be getting booed off the ice right now. He should be getting applauded, because I thought, as trying to stay as neutral as possible, he really was fantastic there in terms of his physical play early doors, trying to muscle the Devils, who are missing Lee Salters, but the Devils responded in the way they should. That's just all-time hockey. That's great hockey. You've got defensemen clearing the net. You've got tough guys stepping in for teammates when they don't want their teammates to take on fights. Initially it was Hendricks stepping up, and then Josh Batch stepping up when his coach was having a little bit of a battle there with Fitzgerald. No booing, no villains in that one, just good all-time hockey, but importantly for the Devils, they lead 2-0.
And when you put that Lord, Culligan, Haddad line up against Fitzgerald, and that's a matchup presumably that both clubs are happy with, that's a combustible situation.
Combustible is the right word, and Andrew Lord, he doesn't take silly penalties, and you won't see him fight that often, but he's a proud man, and he's a very, very strong man. If you're going to engage him in a physical battle, he's going to come right back at you, and on that shift we saw Fitzgerald lay a couple of hits on him. Lord went right back behind the net and really outmuscled Fitzgerald, and that's testimony to the strength of Andrew Lord. And Fitzgerald wouldn't give up on that, went straight back after it, and Josh Batch just thought, no, I'm a legitimate heavyweight here, my coach doesn't need to take all this, I'm going to step up, and I'm going to watch the highlights of that fight every day this week.
And it was physical play as well, wasn't it, that kind of ignited that situation really. It was a little bit of a slow start. We were sort of thinking so many stoppages, just a few things happening, and sort of everything was a bit stop-start, and all of a sudden we were expecting that big start, but it didn't come, and then all of a sudden the physical play there is Zach Fitzgerald who initiates it. The Devils respond, but it leads to that physical play, but then also from that we get that high caliber sort of hockey play as well. We get some good chances, we get some good saves, some fast skating. Really impressed with that Levi Nelson line as well.
Very, very impressive that, and when we go to the replays after, I think we're going to have an advertisement in a moment. Just in terms of the Steelers, and I remember commenting on when they first came into this building earlier in the season, a couple of times their defensive coverage broke down, and that's really, I think, the difference between the two teams so far, is that when the Devils have managed to get that zone time and created a couple of chances, the Steelers' coverage has broken down to the Kirker goal and to the Fournier goal. I know the second goal was a power play goal, so the numerical advantage, but I still don't think you can have those players skating late into lanes, in high slot areas, around by the dots. You've got to have your head on a swivel and know where those guys are. So I think Steelers and Paul Thompson will be unhappy with that. But no, as you rightly say, after a little bit of a stop-start origin to this game, from about the 5th or 6th minute, and of course the first fight, from then on in it was just pretty high octane. The crowd were into this, and as I said, the term I use for it, just good old-fashioned old-time hockey.
And just briefly, John, as well, we just mentioned the scratches earlier, just to talk a little bit more about them. It's pretty obvious to see the hole perhaps that Lee Salters leaves, but that Hendricks and Batch doing a good job to cover up that gap for the Devils. For the Steelers, Tyler Mosienko's a huge loss, isn't he? Because we talk about the offense generated from defense. He's one of the best forecheckers in the league at harrying defensemen, and that's allowed the Devils to create those offensive zone opportunities.
He is. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Both Mosienko and Dowd are huge misses together, but Mosienko's another player who's just designed to play very well in this building. He's not a big tough guy, but he's a feisty guy who will go and forecheck, who will lay hits in the corner and turn over pucks. He's such a good skater, and that's important in this building. When you stop-start, you're twisting and turning very quickly on a smaller ice pad. If you're a good skater, you can get a little bit of advantage, a little bit of separation on your defensive man, whoever's covering you. So I think Mosienko is a huge loss for the Steelers tonight. When you and I looked at the team sheet before the game, we were surprised. We assume it's an injury. We'll try and get clarification on that, but we immediately looked at each other and said that's advantage Cardiff Devils, and right now it is advantage Cardiff Devils.
Thanks for now, John. We're just going to take a pause for a moment for a message from one of our sponsors, and then we'll be back with some highlights of that high-octane first period. The Devils take a 2-0 lead heading into the second. What a first period it's been between the leagues 1 and 2 at the moment, and we'll see who can maybe get a little bit of an advantage there heading into the second. It's the Devils who lead 2-0, and we saw so much action there, as we would have expected from the league's two best sides, and we're going to take you to some replays of that first period right now.
1+1 in the first period last night. You can't really wish for more on your debut.
And we get a look at the third line coming out for the Steelers now. Debian is out there with Phillips and Hewitt, who's likely going to get a regular shift tonight, as there's and then Jace Coyle, and a nice move around the outside it is. Means that Ryan Hayes has it, tries to find a Matthew Warr out front, then a slip by Coyle almost sets things up. Steelers New Look Devils third line with Lee Salters out of the lineup with that injury at the moment. And away they go. Good speed it is. Levi Nelson will shoot, and it's straight into Ben Bounds, who makes a good save there. But there we just see the direct play in his 10th season with the Steelers. Joey Haddad has it now. Haddad with a nice play up to Chris Culligan. Lord is there at speed now, looking like he doesn't feel any ill effects of that early hit on the 3 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the first. Batch will have to work hard down low under pressure, but he does well. Here's Andrew Lord. Culligan is an option for him, but instead Haddad will take it on over the blue line. Haddad shoots, looking to use Cullen Eddy as a screen, and it'll fly in the offensive prowess in this game. Devils just keep it in the zone through Thomas Kirker, one player who's so effective in perhaps preventing. They score! Thomas Kirker!
Big goal, big start for the Devils. That's a lovely one-timer from Thomas Kirker, but for him to skating
start, and really the first good scoring opportunity. Gleason Fournier doesn't quite get that one out of the zone, and here come the Sheffield Steelers straight back. Shot comes in from Nelson. Good sharp save it was from Bounds with the right blocker. Power play, but it is better on the road, up and around 21%, although that might not be as much of a factor in this building. So different are the dynamics and angles. The big blue tent, good chance it was out front. Matthew Warr, who seems greening the goaltender, looking for those tip-ins, and he's right there now. Two men there, in fact, for the Steelers. Nelson joins it. Good block it was out front. That time from Joey Martin. Might have to do it again. He does, and that's going to sting. If he's got the energy in his legs, he can away here. Joey Martin away, looking for the backhand, and he's crowded out in the end, but kills some valuable time slot. 28 seconds left to work with on this power play. Here's Ryan Hayes at speed. Connie Stromberg looks to work inside. Chance it is, and another good stop from Ben Bounds, who made a good deflection there to get that away from trouble. Jace Coyle has it now, walking the line. Goes to Stromberg, again a good pass, cross-eye. Shot comes in, another good save it was. Out front was Frederick Vesberg. Might get another chance. It's there, deflected play, and that's Frederick Vesberg again. With too much time for the Devils liking out front, but they've killed this one off. And Havato is away at speed, splits the D. Havato in on goal, shoots, big save it was. Marek pinched there. The matchups they won out there, and that is the good lead pass up to Stromberg. Nice source of play to the back door there. It's Levi Nelson. This has been a good looking line so far. Big hit. Trevor Hendricks just crushes Nelson in the corner, but the Steelers still have the zone time. Back with Nelson it is now on the point. O'Connor shoots through traffic. The puck is loose in front of Ben Bounds. He doesn't know where it is, but it's wide of him for now. Good pressure from the Steelers, but then that one hops over. Pass. Good lead pass from LeGuy. He'll just tip that in. No ice on the play, so Matthew Warr will put pressure on Andrew Hoffman. Hoffman there just takes too much time. Shot comes in, and it's Jeff LeGuy, and what a play again. Martin Richardson there. Everything so far for the Steelers. And this line has been good. Hudson will go to Easton Fournier with a nice pass up to Jake Morris. That huge hit from Zach Fitzgerald sets up the offensive chance for the Steelers. Shot comes in and it sets the Devils on the back foot. The Steelers now look to build off that big hit. Comes in from Hudson on Levi Nelson here along with Joey Haddad, and then Lord battles down low. Then we get a cross check, Fitzgerald and Haddad, and now we get a melee in front, and Fitzgerald has dropped the gloves with Haddad. Is that out there? Trevor Hendricks, my apologies. Hendricks and Fitzgerald are going to go, and Hendricks goes down from the punches to the helmet of Fitzgerald, and that's just Trevor Hendricks stepping up for his team.
He is. He's going to get the instigator penalty, I think, though, because Darnell made a signal, because Hendricks skated from the blue line to take that fight, and you're right, stepping up for his team, I've got no problem with. Fitzgerald, he's getting booed right now. I think he's doing an absolutely fantastic job for his team in this ring, playing a great physical game. Hendricks there, he'd had enough. Fitzgerald had laid a couple of hits. Hendricks thought he'd answer the call. He skated in from the blue line. From my eyes, we'll see what Darnell calls.
Try and bring that out of the corner. They bump into each other though, and that sets up a 3-on-2 situation for the Steelers, but Hewitt is at the end of a shift and will go and change, and O'Connor will just dump that in. Martin comes in with a nice hit on Ben O'Connor there and turns that over. The puck over again in their own zone, eventually regain it. They've been reasonable in the face-off circle tonight, but then turned the puck over a few times quickly after the draw. Matthew Waugh will battle with Carl Hudson. Big hit again comes in, but 48 gets the better of that one. Shot comes in, might be a chance there, but Pinch will hold on. 6:53 left, and then we get another little ruckus in front of the goal there, and you've got to love the way the Steelers have come into this building, the way they're playing the game. Matthew Waugh this time leading his side from the front. And
you've got to love the way the Devils are responding. Two teams, these are two top-of-the-table teams going at it, and this is going to be a good one, folks. I've got to say, in his first few shifts, as we see Waugh and Lovato continue side as well, but Matthew Waugh is one of the elite players in this league. That is a good trade for the Cardiff Devils.
Here's Andrew Lord working that puck. 6:44 left, and the first shot comes in there, and again a good chance. Away come the Steelers again. Levi Nelson at speed. Good pass inside. Frederick Vestler back and try. Big save from bounds there. And this line looks to have so much chemistry in this building. Devils will make Nelson changes. The hit comes in the corner from Russ Moyer. He's in a battle with Chris Jones while he waits for the cavalry to arrive. And here's Zakavado. Chance out front. Oh, it was in the skates in the end of Luke Piggott. This Devils fourth.
That's going to be a hard line to keep the puck off all night. They're really leading the charge so far for the Steelers.
And they look to have an instant chemistry as well. Shot comes in from Carl Hudson, and it was a good save. Hudson with a bomb last night.
A high-class player.
Usually very, very good against the Cardiff Devils as well. The Devils on the power play here. 1:15 left. It's moved out. Chance there is. Shot comes in. They score! Gleeson Fournier is first as a Cardiff Devil.
Again, even short-handed, I think Paul Thompson's going to have problems there with defensive coverage. It's guys making late moves, coming to that high slot or dot area, and just not.
Gave up that penalty that led to the goal and pushes that forward this time. Ryan Hayes, who then gets finished on in the corner. And the battle is there down low. Ryan Hayes then goes up to Andrew Lord, but it's turned over there in the neutral zone. Trevor Hendricks is back on the ice, as is Zach Fitzgerald. Both combatants out there. Big hit again from Fitzgerald, who starts just where he left off there. Just whistles wide of Marek Pincher. This is such a fascinating match. A big hit again in the corner. We're going to see a bit more here. Guillaume Debienne is on the ice. Josh Batch is there, and he's ready to go with Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald and Batch with a bomb, but then Fitzgerald comes back. The helmet is loose on Fitzgerald. Good uppercuts as Batch tries to regain some control. Big right hand from Josh Batch right through on Fitzgerald, who's in his second fight of the night, as Batch goes toe-to-toe with one of the league's top heavyweights, but he's in that class too. A huge uppercut as well, as Fitzgerald has felt these bombs from Batch. The punch count is with Fitzgerald, but the quality was from Batch. What a play from Josh Batch there. Fitzgerald will sit for 5 more.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Batch is a heavyweight. Zach Fitzgerald, not taking anything away from him. His first shift back out on the ice was still laying hits. Him and Andrew Lord were having a great battle. Josh Batch stepping in for his player coach, say, I'm prepared to go with you. Boy, what a fight. And Josh Batch, there's a lot of cross-crease passes going on from the Devils at the moment, finding players at the back door. He's got to play a little higher in that crease.
Shot comes in, and I don't think Pinch saw too much of that one either. It was back here live on IceTime.TV. Cardiff Devils take a 2-0 lead into the second period against the second place club, the Sheffield Steelers. Huge tilt here between two of UK hockey's biggest clubs, and what a first period we saw there, John Donovan.
It was indeed, Alan. It was a little bit of a fragmented start, and there were a lot of whistles early on, but from about the 15-minute mark, or 5 minutes into the game, I should say, onwards, it really, the intensity just rose, and it started with basically Zach Fitzgerald laying hits on everyone on the ice, but good, clean hits. Playing as Paul Thompson would want his big physical defenseman to play in this building. There was one on Morissette, one on Novato, a series on Lord, and everyone at home should keep an eye out for that running battle if those lines are matched again. Andrew Lord against Zach Fitzgerald. But you might have seen in the goals that we saw in the highlights between periods, the Devils just get a little bit of separation on 2 occasions. Thomas Kirker and Gleason Fournier just finding a little bit of room to come late into a skating lane, and 2 great quick releases, giving the Devils a 2-0 lead. But we know, even missing Tyler Mosienko and Robert Dowd, the offense that this Sheffield Steelers lineup brings. So 2-0 is nothing. It is, of course, cliched, the worst league in hockey, and the Steelers aren't out of this one. Last night we saw a 3-1 lead for the Devils going into the second period against the Giants, and in a puff of smoke it was 3-all.
So important, of course, in any sport when the momentum's with you that you cash in, and apart from maybe 1 or 2 good saves that Ben Bounds had to make, it was mostly the Devils who created those offensive zone chances, and it is just that 2-0 lead. It's a good lead, and it's a lead they'll be happy with, but as you say, perhaps in that first period it could have been more, and the Devils will maybe rue 1 or 2 of those missed opportunities.
They will, and credit to Pinch, he made some good saves. I still think he's playing deep in that net, as we mentioned, and as a result it's inviting a lot of traffic in front of him, and Zach Fitzgerald is great at clearing the net, but maybe some of those other Sheffield Steelers defensemen are struggling, and just the number of passes across the blue crease, the Devils playing very deep to that goal line, and they weren't being cut out. So I'd like to see Pinch be a little bit more aggressive, challenge the shooter a little bit more, and just a little bit higher in his crease, so he can force the Devils' hand a little more.
Legui wins that draw, and wow, we'll get it back to Ben O'Connor quickly. Up now. It is, but turned over in the neutral zone. The Devils will come with Hotham, and now Kirker just tries to fire that through, but blocked by O'Connor, and it's back with Jeff Legui now. Then that gets turned over, and taking a tumble over there was Ryan Hayes, and away comes Thomas Kirker with speed, looking to go around the outside of O'Connor, but he was strong positionally, and now will set things up for Hayes, who's got War and Legui there. It's over instead with the trailing defenseman. Fired in, chance out front, and it's just deflected there off the shot from Jace Coyle. Away comes Andrew Hotham at speed through the neutral zone. The puck is still there. That just gets fired in from Kirker, but only as far as Jace Coyle, who'll try and catch the Devils on a change here, but the puck is now with Mark Richardson, who dumps that up to Doucette with the touch. It's with Jake Morissette. Morissette now will look to make a play from behind Marek Pinch's net. Just about 1 minute gone in this second period. The battle in the corner with Coyle and Morissette. Levi Nelson is on the ice now and has the puck with a nice outlet play over to Ryan Hayes, who'll dump that one in and go for a change. Steelers turn the puck over well down there, and Gleason Fournier has to be good and spin away from the oncoming forecheck. That one gets dumped in, and Russ Moyer will go back and collect. Moyer looking for that outlet pass, has pressure put on him and turns it over. Zakavato will look for the shot, but Rod Sarich bailed out his defensive partner there, and then Moyer tries to make up for things with a good turnover in the corner. Here's Levi Nelson, just shoots it in on bounds, handcuffs him a little, but it was a weak shot for the neutral zone, and the Devils deal with that one easily, but then turn it over themselves. Shot comes in, and it was well blocked from Gleason Fournier there, who got down. That was a good chance for the Steelers early on, with nearly 2 minutes gone in the second. Good speed to this second period so far as well. Over the blue line they go. Guillaume Debierne is dispossessed. And then a loose pass means Carl Hudson will have to turn and go back to Gleason Fournier.
Alan, right now the Devils defensemen are being targeted. They had time in the first period to move the puck. The Steelers are pressing, and there's a definite change in tempo, change in strategy. Those Devils defensemen are having to take hits to make plays. They're being pressurized every time they're on the puck.
Jonathan Phillips fires that one in, and it's there now with Joey Haddad, but turned over, and Bounds has got to be strong on his near post. We get a little bit of a battle as well, as Jason Hewitt finds himself in amongst things there. Just nearly 2.5 gone in the second.
I like this from the Steelers. So much of Devils' offensive play starts from Hotham, starts from Richardson, starts from Fournier, starts from Hudson moving the puck, and they do not have time to move the puck right now. It's a very high forecheck from the Steelers two men going in, going all the way past the goal line, finishing hits, and the Devils, as a result, aren't getting clean breakout. There's been some turnovers. So impressive start, impressive change of strategy at the start of the second period for the Sheffield Steelers.
So it's Jeff Legui who'll take this draw, and the Steelers win it. Legui's been good there. Coyle will shoot, but it's well blocked by Chris Culligan. Batch and Fitzgerald, of course, still in the penalty boxes after that tilt. Good turnover again, and so little time for the Devils to get that puck out of the zone. They are getting it out of the zone, but they're not able to generate the offense that they did in the first, so far at least. Wow, will just shoot that one in. 3 minutes gone in the second. That gets fired in. It could have been a tip play there for Wow, but he was just muscled out of it in front of Ben Bounds, and the Devils will come away. Haddad will just make the simple play while his line mates will make some changes. Legui goes back, then takes a hit from Joey Haddad. Here's Ryan Hayes at speed up on the wing, takes a hit as he goes over the blue line from Mark Richardson, and Richardson has the puck and then finds Andrew Hotham. Back it is with Mark Richardson now, but he turns it over to Rod Sarich, and the Devils are offside until they get out of the zone. 3.5 gone in the second. A lot more fluent play in this second period, certainly to start it compared to what we saw in the first, but not too many gilt-edged chances so far, but it's definitely been more with the Steelers. Here come the Devils though. Joey Martin over the blue line. 3-on-2, 3-on-3 situation. Shot comes in, and again, Pinch there. Didn't look overly confident in making that save, but he did enough, and the Steelers will clear the zone. Easton Fournier has it now. Rink-wide pass over to Thomas Kirker, who can't quite corral the Saucer pass, and the Steelers will get that one out of the zone with Guillaume Debienne, who sets away Frederick Vesberg. Vesberg is there with Nelson. Vesberg goes in on goal, but is checked out to the outside there, and a good play from the Devils defenseman not to give away the penalty on that occasion as well. It was Carl Hudson. Fournier almost has a chance, but is well dispossessed by Ben O'Connor, and now come the Steelers the other way. 4-on-1 situation. Shot comes in, big save from Bounds. Steelers 4-on-1 there, and perhaps the option wasn't to shoot.
Well, the Devils have to pick their moments. The Devils defensemen have to pick their moments, and twice there, Fournier got caught as Josh Batch. I think the two combatants were coming out, but perhaps not. Yes, we do see Josh Batch returning to the ice. That's getting the chip. But Fournier on the line change first of all. Doucette was left as the defenseman. The Sheffield player recognised that intelligence, burned past Doucette, who was trying to play the puck rather than the body. And then again on the second chance, Fournier jumping too high into the play.
Steelers win another offensive draw and fire that through, and then another shot comes in and it whistles wide of bounds. The Steelers have been good in the face-off circle, and particularly at the start of this second period. And the Devils right now a little bit starved of puck possession. Here's Zach Havato with Ryan Russell, dumps it in for Jake Morissette to chase. Back is Ben O'Connor. Jace Coyle can't get a hold of it though, and that one is back with Zach Havato now. Jason Hewitt will step in. Chances there out front. It was Ryan Russell ghosting in at the back door, but O'Connor read the play beautifully and cut out the pass. Jake Morissette will get that into the zone, but is dispossessed this time by Guillaume Debienne. Trevor Hendricks, nice lead pass it was from Hendricks, sets away Ryan Russell with speed. Russell inside, shot comes in, big save from Pinch there with a left glove. He's still right back in his crease, is still down in his pads, looking to find a way through the massive humanity in front of him, and eventually the Steelers will clear with 5:15 gone in this second.
Well, I think that's the mark of a good player, Alan. Ryan Russell just finding time and space.
Andrew Hotham with time and space, shoots, big save again from Pinch. The puck is still loose, and Pinch has a hold of it. No, he doesn't. We get a whistle. Then we get punches thrown, and Hotham on the floor with Russ Moyer, and we're going to get a call on the play. Still a little bit of afters here. We've got a battle in the corner. Andrew Lawn is down there. Mark Richardson is involved, and Hotham. Now we're getting punches thrown on Andrew Lawn, who's already down. Tom Darnell is over there trying to separate things. Guillaume Debienne unloading on Lawn, who's down on the ice. Again,
though, it's good hard hockey. Hotham crashed the net, and I think that was a save off the butt end of the stick initially from Pinch, and Lord has gone in there to protect his star defenseman, who's getting a little bit of afters from the Steelers guys, but that's going to happen if you're in that crease area. They're going to protect their netminder. This is, again, good hard hockey all round, I think, from both teams. No problem with anything that's going on right now. Mark Richardson, the most placid guy in UK ice hockey, he sees his line mate Andrew Hotham getting a little bit of grief. He's straight in there. He's giving a few guys some face washes. So let's see a replay of that. It's Hotham breaking in. Save, I think, with the butt end of the stick again. I don't think Pinch looks comfortable. That puck isn't, and it's just some extras there from Moyer, and Hotham and Moyer go up, and then we see Debienne and Lord sort of pair off, and no one really gets swinging on that one, but just teammates looking out for each other all over the ice. I'm enjoying this one.
Me too, and amongst that, there may have been a bit of luck involved, but there was a couple of high caliber saves from Marek Pinch we can't forget about in that play as well. And Andrew Hotham in that situation usually scores as well, so whether it was by hook or by crook, Marek Pinch keeps us at a 2-goal game as well.
Well, he's a quality netminder. He's played high-end Czech League, Kazakhstan, but for me, he doesn't look comfortable in this building. They were important saves there, but I still didn't think he looked comfortable. Again, I always have to say, I'm not a net mining expert. I haven't played the position, but having watched hockey for a long time, he looks very deep in this net, in this building, where in his small zones, you've got shooters and bodies right on top of you, and I just think he's inviting traffic onto him, and his Steelers defenseman having to collapse and protect the house in front of him with a little bit of desperation on occasions. I'm not sure he's entirely comfortable. If I was on the Devils bench at the moment, the message would be get as many pucks to the net as possible.
Tom Darnell and Matt Rose going through the shopping list of penalty calls here, and we await the announcement from Todd Kelman to see how things work out. Nothing up on the board as yet, and certainly a lot of work for the officials to do, who've been good tonight as well.
They have. I think Tom Darnell, I think there was a great piece that Seth Bennett did with Tom Darnell when we had the referee mic'd up in the Sheffield game, to hear how a referee communicates with the players, and I thought Tom Darnell was very eloquent. He gave explanation to Seth afterwards in an interview, and he is a referee, I think, who I now have a greater understanding that he likes the physical side of the things to go. He will try and keep 5-on-5 hockey if he can. We see Andrew Lord going across to the penalty box here, but the one thing I would say about Tom Darnell, and certainly was revealed in that piece with Seth Bennett, he is a very good communicator. He will talk to the guys so they will know exactly what's going on right now.
Well, I'm fascinated to see what penalties we're going to see called here. Too many in the box for both sides at the moment. Lord was sort of trying to wrestle Debian away. He took a few punches for it as well. We may well see everything evened up here.
I think I'd like to see everything evened up. I think if Hotham's in that area, if he gets a few extra shots from Moya, well, that's the price you pay from going to the net. Debian and Lord were just getting in, protecting teammates. For me, I'd like to see this even, but the notebook's out. There's a lot of writing going on. We can't quite get a close-up of that pad, but I'm sure GM Todd Kelman will illuminate us in a moment.
Perhaps just Tom Darnell there, just discussing whether the timekeeper would like the mushrooms or the onions. We'll see. We are going to get, is that 5-on-5 I can see there signalled? I think it was. The thumb was shielded, John.
I think it was, and again, there's nothing on the board at the moment, so if we go 5-on-5 right now, I think for the good of this game, I think everyone will be happy.
And importantly as well, if that style of refereeing continues for the rest of the game, then there's no complaints.
So we see this replay again. Hotham breaks in, and you know, it is blocker and a little bit of stick, so that is a good save. I give him credit. Moya, you're going to get a couple of extra shots there. No real problem with Moya. Debian and Lord, just two hard guys who, you know, they can see a little bit of a ruckus there, and they're going in for their teammates. So good hard hockey again. There's a couple of extra punches on the floor, but again, I think Lord knows what the situation is there. A fight is breaking out. He's gone in, clutch and grab. No real problem with anything that's gone on there from either side.
Well,
but boy, is it good to watch.
The thumb wasn't indeed up from Tom Darnell. It is 5-on-4, so the Devils are going to get a power play out of this one. We'll await the calls in the arena.
Well, I assume Debian will get the extra for those punches that we saw. Well, there's an initial penalty for hooking. I beg your pardon, that Todd Kelman has just announced. So it is going to be power play for the Cardiff Devils 5-on-4.
Somehow there was a hooking penalty in all of that as well, John.
I know, is Debian hooking Lord up to hit him? Tom Darnell has much better sight of the game than we do, though, so I'll bow to his judgment on that one.
Here's Carl Hudson on the power play for the Devils. Over to Jake Morissette, down low it is now. Ryan Russell is out front, waiting for a chance. It's back there now with Hudson. Chance is there, but it was Jake Morissette who couldn't quite get on the end of it, but he gets there ahead of Colonetti. 1:40 left for the Devils on the power play. They get it back to the point with Carl Hudson. This unit's look good. It's over there now with Joey Martin. Goes back to Hudson. Now Mark Richardson. Richardson will go back. Hudson shoots. Good save from Pitch. Still out front. And Richardson filling in here for Andrew Hotham, who's in the box, of course, on this unit. but a good start. The Steelers do manage to make 3 out of 4 changes there. Zach Fitzgerald stays on the ice. And here's Carl Hudson at speed. 1:15 left. Good play from Fitzgerald there. Now he'll get a chance to change off the good clearance. 1:10 left on this power play. 13:43 in the second period. Still 2-0. It's there with the Steelers. Good play from them. Devils eventually come away with the puck, but it's a battle in the neutral zone they'll have to win, and they do with Chris Culligan here now. Culligan rims that around the boards, out of the reach of Jace Coyle. There it is with Thomas Kirker on the half boards with Guillaume Doucette. Now behind to Culligan, and now Haddad who comes in. Now Culligan again, 38 seconds left on this power play. Culligan will look to make a move and find a pass. He goes to Joey Haddad. The Steelers keep the box well there. Doucette is looking for a chance out front, but it's given away this time by Leeson Fournier with 27 seconds left on the Devils power play. Good kill so far from the Steelers, no good quality chances for the Devils, and no call on the play either. So there's no additional penalty there. 15 seconds left. Jonathan Phillips has it. And what a pass that was. Matthew Warren on goal. Wow, shoots, and it's wide of bounds. Perhaps there was a touch there. Wow, then goes straight into bounds. And we'll await the call from that. 6 seconds left on the Devils power play. Big chance of Matthew Warr short-handed.
I await the replay. I think that is another fantastic save from Ben Bounds off the blocker. Warr tries to freeze him, outweight him. It's a great pass from Phillips. Splits the D. Warr goes in. I don't think he fires that well. I think it might come off the stick. I think that's a save. We'll wait and see, and maybe Alan has a different view on that than me, but I don't think Warr would miss the net by that much on that chance, and I think somehow Ben Bounds has got something on that puck. Warr makes the initial move, tries to freeze him and open up the left-hand side of the net as we look at it, and Ben Bounds, I think, just gets something back to make the save. Maybe we'll get a second chance to see that in the next break of play.
Very difficult to tell from our perspective here, but if it was a save from Bounds, what a game changer that could be. Up against Matthew Warr as well. Good kill for the Steelers there, though. We'll get another 2 minutes, though, so apologies. We didn't hear the penalties right in the building, so apologies for relaying misinformation there. There's another 2 minutes of power play time for the Devils now, so our apologies for not hearing the announcement properly in the building. The Devils have got to work again with Ryan Russell, who shoots, and it's well blocked out front. Great collapse from the Steelers' defence, but that is going to be another penalty, as Rod Sarich will sit for 2 for the delay of game. And Howard, our cameraman there, he's seen it all before, John.
Howard doesn't even flinch. That puck has just hit Howard, and Mark Richardson has just given him a wink, said, "Are you okay?" And Howard said, "Yeah, that doesn't bother me any." So Howard's actually the toughest guy in the ring. Can I include Josh Batch in that?
So Howard gets a helmet.
Howard does get a helmet. And for the benefit of Gareth Hewish listening in, Howard also needs a Twitter account.
So, 5-on-3 situation, 1 minute 39 left. Huge moment in this hockey game, you feel. Massive moment, really, for the Devils, who need to capitalise on this opportunity. Andrew Hotham is there crucially for them to work this 5-on-3 with Hudson, who winds up, fakes the shot, goes down low to Martin. Martin, out front, shot comes in, they score! Guillaume Doucette on the power play.
Just the numbers game tells there, Alan. Great setup play. Hudson to Joey Martin. Joey Martin just sees Doucette peel away into that area between the two circles. Great pass, flat on the ice. Doesn't mean that Doucette has to break any sort of stride, right in the wheelhouse, and we've got a 3-0 hockey game. Hudson to Martin. Martin waits. Doucette gets into position. The triangle breaks down. Was not, for me, he's not advanced high enough. He's trying to cut that cross-ice pass, and again, for me, that's because Pinch isn't high enough in his net, his crease, allowing the defenseman in front of him to move up, allowing Warr to play a little higher on that triangle, as we see Paul Thompson remonstrating with the referee. But because Warr, I think, gets caught a little low there, and the triangle breaks down, Doucette's able to pull away into a lot of space. Beautiful pass by the best playmaker in the league, Joey Martin, and we've got a 3-0 hockey game.
Guillaume Doucette gets his 26th for the season. He ties Sheffield's Ryan Hayes as the leading goal scorer in the Elite League, and crucially for the Devils, it came so early in that 5-on-3. They've got another 1 minute and 51 seconds of power play time to work with. Carl Hudson, Andrew Hotham, now Joey Martin, and you go back to that possible Ben Bounds save, or at least Matthew Warr miss at the one end, and right back down the other end, the penalty is called and the Devils go 3 up. Could have been a 2-1 hockey game. The Steelers clear. 1:30 left for the Devils.
And I really don't want to stay on with Pinch because he's made a number of good saves, but I do think that's an issue there, him playing deep. Wah's position is affected if we see a replay of that.
Joey Martin fires that into Jake Morissette, who collects now, and the Devils can set up again with Andrew Hotham. Hotham will look for a lane to shoot through, winds up, fakes instead, goes to Jake Morissette, who then has his own fake, goes down low to Joey Martin, sorts a pass to Hotham. The Devils with to have a real surge of energy here. 1 minute left for them to work with on this power play. They make some changes. Cullen Eddy will clear that puck though, and big moment. We talk about that 5-on-3 goal, but if the Devils do manage to get one more here, that really puts an even greater complexion in the Devils' favour on this game. The call is there for the high stick, and that one gets fired over towards us. I'm not sure what Howard has done to offend so many Steelers players. No penalty there, it hit the glass on the way through, but it is a high stick, so the Devils will get a chance to the offensive zone face-off with 40 seconds left on this power play.
You make the right call though, Alad. I'd like to see the replay of the Matthew Waugh chance again. If Bounds has made a save there, that is key, a key moment in the game, and Ben Bounds continues to do that for the Cardiff Devils. He's done it all season long. Guillaume
Doucet in the battle there. Now it's back to Gleason Fournier. We will get a replay of that from the next stop in play. Askew shall receive. Culligan goes back to Fournier. Back with Culligan now. Looks to work his way down low. Turns instead back to Fournier, who has time and space. Shoots it in, but it's a good block from Matthew Waugh there. Just ran out of space in the end, Fournier, with 20 seconds left. Steelers may be caught in a change here, though, as Culligan will work again up against Ben O'Connor. Here's Joey Haddad. Over to Thomas Kirker. Kirker just fires it in. Not a bad play with 10 seconds left on the power play. 10:21 in the period. Chris Culligan works his way down low to Joey Haddad. Back with Culligan. Doucet has room out front. No offside. It's there now with Kirker. Kirker winds and fires, and it's a good save from Marek Pinch on the short side. The Steelers do get back to full strength. And the Devils wanted another power play there, I think, from the bench, but there'll be none of that. We'll get back to 5-on-5 hockey with 10:06 left in the second. And I think that's credit to the Steelers for their kill on the second half of that power play. Let's see this chance again. Great pass by Phillips. Oh, does he miss the net, or is there a little bit of stick on that? I think Bounds stays with him. He frees his Bounds quite well, I think, while there, and opens up that left-hand side. I don't know, maybe we'll leave that to you guys at home. Back it is with Batch now. Just fire that bouncing puck. It's not a bad play. Gets it down low to Jones. The Steelers can't get it out the zone with Chris Jones now battling up against Rod Sarich. He's out there with Andrew Lord and Zach Cavato as the Devils shuffle their lines off the back of those consecutive power plays. Andrew Lord is there working up against Russ Moyer. Sarich with Jones. The Steelers only as far as Trevor Hendricks. Hendricks, nice play inside to Havato. Eventually the Steelers regain though, and the Devils will stay with this line. No ice on the play. Batch goes D to D with Hendricks, and Lord waits for the pass from Trevor Hendricks. Good outlet again to Havato, who does enough to get that in the zone. It's there with Chris Jones, who was looking for a change, but then made a nice play to keep the Steelers hemmed in. Zach Fitzgerald, good outlet from him. 9:20 left in the second. Fired it, good save from Bounds, and he had to be quick there because that was a bouncing puck and a little bit of a nasty one, and that would have been a bit of a sucker punch for the Devils after having all the momentum. Here they come though. Zach Havato. Havato over the blue line, still skating in with speed. Havato shoots, and a good save again from Pinch, but again I don't know how much he knew about it, then makes a follow-up save as well. Chances there again. Havato shoots, good save up high from Pinch this time, but the Devils a little bit like a shooting gallery there. Pinch making the saves but giving good looks to the Devils as well, perhaps by not challenging the shooter. LeGuy. Luke Piggott is getting a shift out there now, battling up against Matthew Waugh. That's a matchup the Steelers will like. Down low it is for Ben O'Connor, takes a bump from Carl Hudson. Matthew Waugh then takes a bump from Ryan Russell. The Steelers work it now, no offside, shot fired in, good save with the stick from Ben Bounds, out of play it goes. 8:26 left in the second. Well, the Steelers have got to take little victories right now, and I did think it was a good kill off the second half, or the second 2-minute penalty. And then a good shift there from the Waugh line, getting pucks to Ben Bounds, who had to make a couple of saves. So, little victories. There's still a lot of time in this game. There's 8 minutes, 26 seconds left in this second period. So, the Steelers just need to get one on the board right now, and maybe, just maybe, they can take a little bit of momentum from the last couple of shifts. Steelers win the draw, but that just bounces out, and there might be a chance for the Devils there, but a good recovery it was from Ben O'Connor, who did extremely well, and there's an offside on the play, and we get another quick whistle. But of course we talked between the period breaks, Aled, and
Mosienko is a huge miss for the Steelers, not just for the points he puts on the board, but for how he can play in this building. He is a tenacious player, he is a good skater, he's great on the forecheck, he can turn over pucks, and then when he has turned over pucks, because he's got such good vision, he creates chances for the Steelers. So just coming into this building, the skilled player like him who plays with a chip on his shoulder is a huge loss.
Frederick Vestberg will take the draw, and this line's been a lot quieter in the second period as well. They were the architect of so much of the good things the Steelers did in the first. 8-10 left in the second. Pinch will handle, chased by Thomas Kirker. Thomas Kirker wins it with a bit of help there, but then will get it down low. O'Connor just misses out, and Doucette will get it back to Joey Martin, the Devils' big offensive line on the ice. Martin is there. Gets it back to Kirker, who winds that around the boards for O'Connor, who has a bit of room now to make the skate away from Doucette, and a good outlet pass it was up on the wing. Ryan Hayes though loses control of the puck, and the Devils will get it out the zone. Hayes will try and work something again. Thomas Kirker has it and goes back to Martin Richardson. There's Andrew Hoffman. Both sides are making their changes, so Hoffman will just go back the comfort of behind his own net, chased by Jason Hewitt. Eventually Hoffman will come away and gets tangled up by Hewitt there, who did well, and he would have backed Hoffman skating there to get away from Hewitt, but Hewitt did well just to be enough of a nuisance to stop the breakout for the Devils. We talked about how important that is for the Steelers to try and stifle the Devils' offense. He's working on defensemen like Andrew Hoffman. 7:05 left in this second period. Rod Sarich with a nice play at Hewitt, who goes over the blue line with a nice pass his own to Debian, who then gets finished on by Josh Batch after taking the shot. Jonathan Phillips gets that down low. Good play from the Steelers' third line. They're not going to expect too much offense from them, but if they can generate some pressure offensively, that's a plus for Paul Thompson.
No, they've gone back to 5-on-5 hockey, and again, if they get back to what they were doing at the start of the period, when I thought they had the momentum for the first couple of minutes, a silly icing call there, but go back to pressuring those Devils defensemen. Don't allow them to carry the puck, don't allow them to skate with the puck, create those turnovers, and they were doing that for the first few shifts of this period, and I thought the Steelers had come out with a very good response. Of course, they've run into penalty trouble, the Devils have extended their lead, but as we say, still plenty of time left in this game, so just get back to the game plan, force the Devils to create turnovers either in the neutral zone or in their own zone that lead to good scoring chances.
Steelers get that one out of the zone. Just got a call there, 6:37 left then the second period. Avato is out there with Russell and Morissette against the Nelson line with Vestberg and Strobel. Play down low. Steelers to get out of the zone, but only as far as Carl Hudson, who makes a nice play. Ross Moyer has it now, and Ollie Strobel. Strobel with a nice pass up. Nelson evades the hit. What a play that was from Nelson. Vestberg with speed around the outside of Hudson, goes back to the point. Space and time. Shot comes in. It's a good blast there. It took a deflection in the end from Levi Nelson, who got tangled up with Ryan Russell, and we get a whistle. 6:09 left in the second.
Yeah, Russell just does just enough there to get a half shot block in, but lovely build-up play there from the Steelers. Stromberg to Nelson, who again uses his size to create a little bit of separation, then has the soft hands to distribute the puck so well, and that looks the best line still for the Steelers, the Stromberg line with Vestberg and Nelson. But these are the big hitters who are on the ice right now. Le Guy, Roy and Hayes. This is the line that needs to come good for the Steelers.
Might be a chance here for Guillaume Doucette, the Devils' big line out there as well. Thomas Kirker is there. Doucette up on the wing, puts the brakes on. Now works it inside, just gets it out front, but Pinch will just move that wide and Le Guy will get a hold of the puck. Might be a chance here for Matty Wah off the bouncing puck, but look at that play from Mark Richardson up against Matty Wah there, just took the puck away from him. And well, Wah's been quiet in the big blue tent this season, and that's, if you can keep Matty Wah off the score sheet, or at least away from being a prolific player, you've got a good chance of beating the Sheffield Steelers. Andrew Hoffman takes a bump from Jonathan Phillips, then it's a bit of a tangle. It's turned over. Chance up front was there, and it's a good save from Bounds, flashing the leather there. Good third line play from the Steelers, almost created a chance.
But it's because of that pressure on the Devils defenseman, Phillips on Hoffman, and Hoffman's asking for a holding call, but I think he was just a little lackadaisical there, and Phillips got the better of him in the physical confrontation, turned over the puck, created that scoring chance. That's what the Steelers have done well in periods of this second frame. If they continue to do that, they just need one on the board to silence this crowd and cause a little bit of nerves. Just keep playing this way.
5:20 left then in the second period. The battle is down low. Steelers keep it in the zone, but then lose out eventually to Chris Culligan with that sound defensive play. And back goes Jason Coyle. Coyle behind his own net. Fires that out, but only as far as back into the skates. Debian will get that puck into the zone for Phillips to chase. Hendricks is there though, and does well for the Devils. Good simple play from Hendricks, gets that one out of the zone. And there'll be a whistle as that one flies up into... might have hit somebody there. They're okay, 4:50 left in the second.
We hope everybody's okay. Just we're the opposite side of the ring from Paul Thompson, but I can hear him even with my headphones on all the way from here. He is on the case with Tom Darnell right now. He doesn't think the Steelers are getting their just desserts. He thinks there are a couple of calls there. I saw him made a hooking sign to Darnell. So maybe in a minute, I know Tom Darnell's a strong character, but sometimes coaches can influence the game. Maybe in a minute we'll see a power play for the Steelers, because Paul Thompson, for the last 2 or 3 minutes, every time Tom Darnell's gone past the bench, has certainly been letting him know what he thinks.
Turnover again from the Devils. They get a hold of the puck now with Hudson, now Easton Fournier. Fournier will get the Jets on. Takes a hit from Saric, but gets it in the zone with help from Zakavato. Wes Moyer will turn away from Morissette, then make a nice play at the boards and get it back. Levi Nelson is there too, but then a good back check from Ryan Russell, doing all the simple things well, as he did just again for the second time in that shift. Well, there we go. He's going to take a call. That shows what I know. I was going to say, John, on the point that you made there about whether Paul Thompson, okay, we know that it's his right, of course, to talk to the referee and try and gain that leverage, but also at the same time perhaps that takes away from some of the other focus that you would expect him to have as a coach, but then it's just paid off. It
does, but I also think you can help manage a game there. I actually do think, and I'm not trying to make my own point here, that was a little bit of a soft call. I've seen worse in this game so far tonight. I think that's okay from Thompson. He's shown the rest of his bench that he's still motivated, he's still got the fighting spirit, and I think he's influenced a little bit of a decision there. And Tom Darnell's only human. That's not to criticise him as a referee. I think he's a strong referee, a good referee. But when you've got a guy shouting at you for the last 5 minutes, maybe you do pay a bit closer attention to what the Devils are doing, and you find an opportunity to call a penalty.
It's a timely power play for the Steelers. 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second period. They trail 3-1 and they've got 1:40 to work with, but the Devils come away with a puck. 1-2 play. It is Andrew Lord there. Richardson has it back now. Shot comes in. Sorry, it was Joey Martin. My apologies. With a nice pass to Mark Richardson. It's back with the Steelers now, though, and the outlet is there for Ryan Hayes. Over the blue line he goes. Hayes, but there's an offside on the play, as Guillaume Debian was way too far encroaching in the Devil zone, and we get a whistle with 1:23 left on this Steelers power play.
Steelers just need to settle themselves down now. It would be very timely for them to get a goal before the end of this second period, just to set them up for the third frame. And with 1:23 left, they get the Legui line on the ice, and Nelson's on the ice as well. And anytime Nelson's on the ice, I think the Steelers stand their best chance. He, for me, is their most impressive performer. Just retaining the puck so well, distributing it so well. It looks like he's got a goal threat.
Steelers have the zone time now on the power play, and they'll look to set things up with Jeff Legui. They'll get the box in place. Legui has it on half boards, goes back to the line. It's now there with Ben O'Connor. Ben O'Connor crosses over with Cullinetti, now down low to Legui again. O'Connor looking to try and get something going, shoots and scores!
And again, not to my own point, but on this replay, look at the screen that Nelson creates by screening across bounds. It's good setup play. O'Connor doesn't try and break the net. He waits for that presence in front, and you'll see Nelson coming late across the screen in your picture. Hopefully we'll see it on the angle. O'Connor comes there, and Nelson just comes 76 across the skating lane. He's not right on the crease, but Ben Bounds had to look around him at the last moment and couldn't pick up that shot from Ben O'Connor. I think that's great setup play from the Steelers. Intelligent from O'Connor. He doesn't need the big slap shot, just waiting for traffic. Nice little wrist shot in there, and Nelson just had the presence of mind to go across the net when O'Connor was at the high point at the blue line. It was enough of a screen that Ben Bounds was put off. Big goal for the Steelers.
We'll wait confirmation on who got that goal. It looked like it might have sailed straight through. We get another call on the play. It's the Devils will go to the power play by the looks of things, but we'll just await confirmation as well. Definitely a screen there in case it was a touch.
Well, that's a big call, and Paul Thompson does not look happy right now as Debian goes into the penalty box for high sticks, and apologies folks, I missed that one as well. I was just going to say I thought Paul Thompson had done his job very well as a coach. Not that he bought that penalty, I just think he influenced the game, and I think you should influence the game. Captains, coaches, anything you can do within the rules of the game, the parameters of the game to give your team an advantage, and I thought Paul Thompson did that there. The power play was created, a good goal was scored, but right now the Devils get an immediate chance to bounce right back.
There seems to be a lot of confusion here. Going to get a face-off, and it's in the neutral zone. So, wish I read the rule book more often. But on a power play, that there's been something else that happened following that play. But the Devils will go to work now. 3:12 left in this second period. They still have the 2-goal cushion. Steelers, though, with a good power play goal there. And they turn it over. Away they go. Jonathan Phillips at speed. Good play from Phillips, and it just causes trouble for the Devils. We've got to work hard to regain possession. 1:40 left. Fired in by Hudson. That'll hit the netting. We'll get a whistle with 2:54 left in the period. 1:39 on the power play.
Yeah, even though I've been watching hockey for what seems like years now, you don't know all the rules. I'd be interested to know from some of the officials at home who watch this and guys who study the rule book. I assume that because the Devils iced the puck, that even though they had a power play, the icing sort of negated that advantage a little bit, and the face-off wouldn't be taken in the Sheffield zone. But because it was a penalty on the Steelers, also the icing was negated a little bit, and the referee decided that the face-off should be taken in the neutral zone. So that would be my best guess, but you learn something new every day, so it'd be great to get clarification on that.
Steelers turn it over again, and here's Matthew Waugh looking to go around the outside. Decent Fournier. Fournier's helmet is off. He's got to take a penalty here if he doesn't get off. He's been told to get off the ice. He's picked the helmet up. He's getting told to still get off the ice now, and that's good communication from Tom Darnell. 1:08 left in the first period. Fournier not directly involved with the play there. Picked his helmet up, put it back on, but still had to go to the bench. Shot comes in. Mishandled by Pinch. Good rebound chance. Still there. They score! Joey Haddad on the power play.
Alan, I got to admit, I would be furious if I was Paul Thompson right now. Tom Darnell, it is great communication to Fournier, and I know he's not directly affecting the play, but I think there should be a penalty on the play there. And Paul Thompson is livid. When this goal comes about, we see Matthew Waugh break his stick. It's he who loses the puck battle. It's great work by Guillaume Doucet there. Joey Haddad is the benefiter of that and puts it in. But should that play have arisen? I think I have some sympathy for the Steelers coach right now, that perhaps that should have been a penalty on the play. But Matthew Waugh there, he's annoyed. He loses the puck battle to Guillaume Doucet. The credit there goes to Doucet, turning over that puck. Joey Haddad, right spot, right time. Big goal for the Devils, 4-1 with 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the second period.
Haddad's 12th on the year, and it restores that 3-goal cushion for the Devils. Crucial timing there. Both teams with their power play goals. The Steelers first, and the Devils hit back. It's there for the Devils now. Trevor Hendricks, 2 minutes left in this period. A bouncing play, but it's well cleared by Calanetti, but not out of the zone. Haddad gets it back in. 1:50 left. Andrew Lord, big hit it is on Zach Fitzgerald there. Lord's going to get called on that one. Fitzgerald doesn't like the hit, but Lord is going to sit for 2 there, just a little bit too close to the numbers for Tom Darnell's liking. We might get a better view on the replay. 1:46 left.
Well, Andrew Lord makes it a rule of the Cardiff Devils team. You do not question the referee. He's very tough on discipline. But right now he looks a bit exasperated. But that's been a great battle all night between Fitzgerald and Lord. And I think Fitzgerald just got Lord's numbers when he went to the bench there, as we see the reaction there. Fitzgerald's just looking across a couple of times. Folks, don't go away in the third period, because I think those two might see a little bit more confrontation.
We'll hopefully have a replay of that for you in the next break. The Steelers have 2 minutes of power play time. 1:46 left in this period. Crucial moment again. I seem to be repeating myself constantly with that comment, but it's so true. The Steelers with that power play goal that you thought would reduce the game to just a 2-goal cushion for the Devils heading into the third, making things tense. The Devils hit back in their own power play, and now the Steelers get a chance again. 1:40 left to work with. 1:27 though in the period. That's the real number we're looking at here, for the time being at least. Away it is for the Devils. Morissette is there, 2-on-1 situation. Martin going in the net. Morissette will work inside, shoot, it scores! Jake Morissette.
Sorry, I had to tap my co-commentator Alan Lloyd on the shoulder there, because that's just a thing of beauty from Jake Morissette. just weighing up those options. Joey Martin looking for the pass, but the Sheffield defenseman actually does a really good job cutting out the passing lane, but Morissette just waits and waits, outweights everybody on the ice. Just the hockey intelligence from that man, then cuts across the crease and then goes 5-hole. What a goal by Jake Morissette. Huge goal, huge short-handed goal. Just take a bow.
Morissette is 17th on the season, 1 minute 12 left for the Steelers to get a power play goal here. 5-1 it is now for the Cardiff Devils though. What a swing in this period. What a swing in the last few minutes of this period as well. Ben O'Connor has the puck, we'll just dump that one in. 57 seconds left for the Steelers. Matty Waugh works the puck back to the point. It's there now with Cullinetti with a blast, a bouncing play out front, but it's found its way wide of Ben Bounds. The Steelers with a bee in their bonnet, looking to get anything they can from the closing moments of this period. Pinch will handle, 40 seconds left for the Steelers to work with. Still 50 seconds or thereabouts for the power play in total. It's with Jeff LeGuy now. Rick wide pass to Ben O'Connor, who sends that one in. Down low, they work it. Levi Nelson gets it over to Jeff LeGuy. Back to the point they go now. O'Connor will switch over again with Cullinetti with a blast again from Eddie. Wide of the net, it goes off the deflected play, and Eddie's got a laser from there, and you can see what the Steelers are trying to do, get more direct on that power play with bodies out front. It worked last time. Still 7 seconds to work with. The Devils will get a hold of that puck and clear it, and we'll wait to see whether there's a call here. It doesn't look as though one's coming, as that went straight into the Steelers bench. 5 seconds left on the period.
No, for me that was players bench. I think Paul Thompson's evening just goes from bad to worse. That almost took his head off from Fournier, and again, well, maybe, I don't know whether we'll get a replay of that. Fournier, Tom Darnell was communicating with him, and that's great. I love that communication, but there was quite a delay between Fournier losing his helmet and getting off the ice. Thompson was calling for the penalty. That's borderline, but from the Steelers side of things, yeah, I'd be quite annoyed.
Devils win the draw and clear the zone. Well, not the zone, but it's far enough out that Ben Bounds will make one more save, but it's after the buzzer sounds, and well. A little bit of a different complexion to that period than the first job, but just as exciting in so many ways.
Just a thrilling game, and the physical confrontation or physical battle didn't let up at all on the second period, and it started right from the outset of the period with the Steelers, I thought, setting the tempo, going after the Devils defensemen, forcing over turnovers as we continue to see dialogue on the ice. You might see from the GoPro camera behind the goal a lot of Steelers players very unhappy right now, communicating with Tom Darnell
and each other as well.
And each other. Yeah, I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but Stromberg and Vestberg continue to talk as we've got a couple of replays on your screen here, and we're just seeing the build-up to a play. It's the Andrew Lord hit. Yeah, I think there's enough in there for Darnell to call that, and just the way Fitzgerald walks away there, muttering sweet nothings. Two tough players. They might see a little bit more face-to-face time come the third period.
Incredible, isn't it? We talk so often about the momentum in games, and it just felt there as though the Steelers had found a way back in after good play from the Devils to go 3-0 up, and they seem to be controlling the game, but the Steelers created chances and got that all-important power play goal, but then the Devils get the opportunity straight away. It's all about those crucial clutch plays, isn't it? The power play goal that hit straight back, momentum back with the Devils, and they make it count with the fifth goal.
Well, twice really, because at 2-0 with the Devils having momentum, you had that melee in front of the goal, and we were talking in commentary that we thought maybe it would be completely even, but Debian gets the extra penalties, and Tom Darnell just makes that call, and it'd be interesting to get Paul Thompson's take on that after the game, perhaps, if we can. But that gives the Devils an advantage there to go 3-0 up, a big goal in the context of this game. Then the Steelers get back, a little bit of tempo, get back to 5-on-5, again turning over pucks, and they get the power play goal, 3-1. And as you rightly say then, it's just the power play then immediately to the Cardiff Devils, just a big call again, and they wrestle the momentum right back. And then a short-handed play. The Steelers, you've got to be honest, they shouldn't be letting that happen, but boy, what a goal in a game of big plays and big moments. That Jake Morissette goal was, for me, just a thing of beauty, just his head up the whole time, looking what was on. Can I pass? No, the Sheffield Steelers players made a great job cutting out that passing lane. A little weight, outweights everybody in the ice, and finds the 5-hole. And 5-1 might just be enough, but you never know with the Steelers with their never say die attitude.
And you talk about a big game and big moments and a lot of offense as well from both sides, but we can't talk about that without looking at the goaltending. We had the moment down the one end with Matthew Waugh, whether Ben Bounds got a touch or not on it. He did enough to to avert the goal for the Devils, and then they go up the other end and get the goal. And the goaltending the Steelers are getting tonight perhaps isn't quite at the quality the Devils are getting there. The Devils look like a team that's playing with so much confidence in their goaltender now, quite rightly so.
Well, on that point, first of all, absolutely and rightly so. Ben Bounds for a year now. Probably Andrew Lord always says that maybe September, October time of the first season Ben Bounds was here, he was a little shaky, getting used to being a Cardiff Devil, getting used to playing for a team that wanted to challenge for trophies. Since October, 2014, been absolutely stellar. For Pinch, I feel a little harsh criticising him because he is making the saves. I don't feel the Steelers feel entirely confident in front of him in this building. I should say in Sheffield Ice Arena, it might be completely different, but they're having to collapse low to protect the house. He is making saves, but rebounds are lying there. I think he's very deep in his net, and I just don't think the Steelers have absolute confidence in him in this building. That's my read on it. I might be completely wrong, but the Devils, I think, sense that. They are driving that net at every opportunity, and the secondary scoring chances, the opportunities for those garbage goals are readily available, I think, for the Devils.
The Steelers with such a poor record in this building when you look at the score lines, and of course we're not writing them off here by any stretch, but certainly through 2 periods as well. What is it that you think they should be doing differently to find themselves in games a little bit more? They seem to be giving up leads to the Devils, and then it's very, very difficult to come back in. But is there something different in terms of the pattern of play, the systems they're using, where you'd like to see a change with perhaps teams like the Nottingham Panthers, who've had a lot of success in this building, and other teams as well, like Dundee Stars?
Well, I don't think they have the speed of the Belfast Giants, who we saw last night, and I don't think they have the puck management ability of the Nottingham Panthers, who, despite the drop-off of form, are still the best team I've seen in this building. It's hard. Paul Thompson, you hear in every interview before he comes into this building, he wants his team to play a simplified game. You use the word direct. On the power play, on scoring opportunities, just get pucks to the net, put your bodies on the line. In terms of the defensive game, just make sure your coverage is good, block shots. So he's talking about everything that's right and what you should be doing in terms of being successful as a road team in this building. But right now it's just not happening, and maybe it's just, again, a very good point that you made in commentary. The Steelers perhaps don't have depth across all the 3 lines. The first 2 lines are very good, but I think the Devils just across their entire 3 lines have more scoring depth, and maybe that's just been telling in the meetings in this building so far this season.
Well, we'll have a chance to discuss all things Steelers perhaps and the way this game's going a little more in just a moment. We've been joined by our esteemed guest, David Sims, who's going to be joining John in a moment on the gantry. We're just going to take a break for a message from a sponsor, and then John will be back with David Sims. The Devils lead 5-1 after 2.
Hey hockey fans, I'm Andrew Lord from the Cardiff Devils, and you're watching IceTime.TV.
Back on IceTime.TV, and I'm very pleased to say I've been joined by Steelers legend in his own right, David Sims. And David, how are you? Safe trip down today?
Very safe trip. I think I'm the only person who considers myself to be that, though, yeah.
Now, I want to talk about the Steelers project overall that's going on with Paul Thompson. We've got Devils GM Todd Kelman. If you're in the building and you haven't got your 50-50 tickets, buy it off this man.
£20. Welsh hospitality, this is how you treat us.
£20.
We come down here, we buy your tickets, we order your pizzas, and you're 5-1 down.
Well, you of course might take the big check home at the end of the game.
I would love that.
There we go. But before we get on to the Sheffield project as a whole, it is a 5-1 hockey game, as you rightly say, but this game's not over yet. Your take on the first 40 minutes, and from a Steelers perspective, what needs to happen in the remaining 20 minutes of this game?
Well, you're absolutely crackers if you don't think it's all over. It's all over in this building at 5-1. Put a heartbeat on if you're watching at home. It's over. You know, the situation is pretty simple. 4 special teams goals. 3 power play, 1 short-handed goal. You've just been more clinical in those special moments, haven't you?
You're getting a lot of love in this building at the moment as you're on the big screen, so
where's the big screen?
We'll give them a wave. All the screens around the building. If you want to give your fans a wave, they love you here, obviously.
I hate the Welsh.
Tongue-in-cheek, I'm sure. But
no, honestly, I really do hate the Welsh.
But anyway, what has been the Steelers' struggle maybe in this building so far? Because we've seen it in the Sheffield Ice Arena that the Steelers have had a lot of big wins against the Steelers, against the Devils this season, opened the game up, of course that extra room to play in, but why have the Steelers struggled to come into this building? Because I heard the interview you did with Paul Thompson last night. He talked a very good game about, putting your body on the line, blocking shots, chipping puck out. Why are the Steelers struggling right now?
Why does every team struggle in this building? This is a unique building to play in, and every team struggles in here. I think we're a team that just isn't built for this rink, and we struggle in here. You look at Cardiff, what they are, they're big bodies, they're so direct, they get to the puck, they get the puck to the net very quickly, and it's just completely the opposite, if you like, to what a lot of the other teams are about. It's not just Sheffield that's struggling here. yeah, a huge advantage to Cardiff, but that's not meant in a bad way. That's meant in a way that they've built the team to play in here. And those bodies are just forthright, direct. They're men that play here. There's no dilly-dallying around, which perhaps you get the time to do on the bigger ice pad. Here, it's straight, it's direct. Cardiff do it very well. And it's not just Sheffield that struggle, it's everybody. But we've struggled here tonight. And especially, you can do it 5-on-5. What you can't do it is when you're killing all night.
And you felt obviously those penalties were key to that. We saw Paul Thompson berating Tom Darnell at times on that bench. I will ask him after the game if I have the opportunity, but obviously right now the Steelers not entirely happy with all the calls that are going against them.
Well, to be honest with you, I think Tom got called into that minor straight afterwards. I think Paul probably intimidated him. That's his job, of course. That's what every coach's job to do. Sure, Lord does it. Sure, Nielsen does it. Sure, everybody does it. And probably the weakest call of the night, he ends up calling on the power play, and then Benny goes and scores it. But yeah, I think we were a little bit surprised on the Lord one when Debian got the double minor, if you like. Lord comes from the blue line in on that, but you know what, that isn't our problem tonight. Our problems, we've taken a few stupid ones. We haven't killed well against a very good power play of Cardiff.
And just finally on this game, and I know you're a man who likes old school hockey, I can't get you up here without talking about that fight in the first period. Batch against Fitzgerald, for me, that's one of the best I've seen. You know,
it's the toughest job in sports, isn't it? You know, we talk about it. All these people up here who think they're tough in this rink right now, especially the guy who stands right by our bench. My God, you know what? He'd have heart failure if he had to do what Batch and what Fitzgerald and what Hendricks and what all the other tough guys do. You wouldn't want to do it for a living, would you? And these guys make and you have to give Batch credit. You know, Fitzgerald's the toughest guy in the league, and Batch more than held his own, didn't he, in that scrap?
I certainly think so, and I wouldn't want to do it.
You know what? On any given night, any of these tough guys can be winners and losers in those things. You know, you see your lad Marsh. You know, he just gets on the end of one, doesn't he? Those punches that kill the like of you and I. These guys get up and they come back, and you have to tip your hat to them all.
Absolutely, and we do. Now, talking, if I may, about the Steelers project as a whole, because Paul Thompson was brought in the summer, and I think we all speak very highly of Gerard Adams, what he did in Cardiff, what he did in Sheffield, but maybe it's because of the bigger picture mentality in Sheffield. I assume Paul Thompson is coming in to look at everything, not just the first team. It was about under-20s hockey, the junior development. How is that project going? How is year one of that project going?
I think it's going very well. I think we're all very pleased with it. I think nobody can fault the results that G had. You know, you say you all love G down here, and we all got utmost respect and time for G here. You know, sometimes it's not personal, it's business, and these things happen. It's sport, it's what goes on. Obviously, I'm close to Paul, and I know his strengths in lots of different areas, and I think you're right. I think Paul was brought in not just as a coach of the first team, but almost a manager of the hockey project, and perhaps ownership and the club's management felt that wasn't as tight as it should be, and I think it's a lot better now. I think we wanted the under-20 program to develop. We wanted that elite under-20, you know, those 6 teams built up of multiple clubs around. It didn't happen because, unfortunately, the amateur bodies of our sport, the English Association, the Scottish Association, didn't want it to happen. I don't mean to be rude, and this will be the controversial thing, but if you want your kids to develop, there has to be an age limit where the fat kids stop playing. Sport for all is great to a level, but then it has to be nice job, little Johnny, but now you go and play recreation hockey, and there should be a place for him to do that. But elite under-20s wasn't that place, and unfortunately, when everybody got together, they all talked the talk, but only a few people wanted to walk the walk, and unfortunately, England and Scotland didn't, and it was a shame. But it goes up. But then those are the people who moan that we're not bringing young British kids through. All the people that moan that they're not bringing the young kids through are the ones that actually could do something about it and fail to do so when the difficult decisions have to be made. And that meeting in Newcastle, difficult decisions had to be made and they weren't prepared to make it. So they have to live by that.
Sorry, just you made the point there on Paul Thompson. You are close to him, you know his strengths. In terms of that project, and not just the first team, but the whole development of Sheffield ice hockey, what are his strengths? What does he bring to the table that allows you and the ownership group there to put so much confidence in him?
Well, what he does, he gives the ownership group and the management the confidence that we trust him and we can leave him alone. And he can get on and run it, and we can then look after putting bums on seats. making sure our product is better on the ice, making sure our show's better, making sure that we're out in the community more, making sure our schools program is right, making sure that we don't have to worry about what's going on Monday to Friday at practice, making sure we haven't got to worry about who's coming in, who's going out. Paul's a great manager. He can control things. That's one of his massive strengths. And he's just an in-control person. You're always a step behind him. You always think you're a step in front, but you're always a step behind him. And that means that, Tony, Sean, Mike, myself, everybody else in the office, we haven't got to worry Monday to Friday what's going on. We can worry about our own jobs. And that's his biggest strength, that we're all comfortable and confident in what we're doing. And now we're completely comfortable and confident about what the hockey side of the business is doing. Because we're all, at the end of the day, hockey management throughout the whole league, we're fans. We might be fans with different levels of experience and different levels of length and longevity in the game, but at the end of the day, we're not those people who make those hockey decisions, and only hockey people should make hockey decisions. And we're very comfortable that we have the best guy in the country and making decisions for our club, and that's why we're very happy with what he's doing there.
Now, you talk about that you're very comfortable just letting him get on with the job. The job at the moment is marshalling the Steelers through a very tight title race, perhaps the tightest we've seen in years. What's your take on it? How do you see this going? Is it advantage Braehead, as you often say, or how do you see this playing out over the next couple of months?
It's always been advantage Braehead. They just had that start where they played a lot of cross-conference games. I mean, right from the very start, we said if we can finish 1 point above Braehead, we'll win the league. And if Cardiff, Sheffield, and it's frankly only Cardiff and Sheffield that can stop Braehead winning it. Nottingham and Belfast have already lost too many games now, I think. One of us has got to finish a point above Braehead for us to win the league. And if you could offer me now 1 point above Braehead, I'd snatch your hands off it. It's theirs to lose. And if they lose it, it's their own fault. They should have won it last year. They didn't. They should walk it this year.
I don't disagree with that necessarily. David, you're always box office. Thank you for joining us on IceTime.TV. I know you got back to the Steelers bench.
I got a lot of autographs to sign.
There's a lot of friends you've got to catch on the way back round, but thanks for joining us on the salubrious gantry that we've got. Next time we see you, we hope to see you in Ice Arena Wales, but thank you for your time.
I'd like to be the person who actually lights this place and sets fire to it, because we've never had success there. The sooner it's knocked down, the better.
Well, absolutely, but there'll be a drink in the bar for you afterwards, I will say that, but it'll be so long to get to the bar because hopefully in the new building, far more better facilities, and we look forward to seeing you then. We're going to have a slight break on IceTime.TV. Join us in a couple of minutes. We'll have third period action. The Devils leading the Steelers 5-1.
Back here live on IceTime.TV. Aled Lloyd alongside John Donovan, ready for third period action. The Steelers will have 15 seconds left of power play time. The Devils leading 5-1, of course. That goal outburst at the end where they separated themselves really from the Steelers, who hit back with a good power play goal from O'Connor. And then it was the Devils who hit back with their own power play goal. And really, you would think has put this one in a position where it's almost impossible for the Steelers to come back. But never say never.
Well, you would think so, and David Sims certainly thinks so. I should just say on the point of that interview with David Sims, I guess David is the definition of Marmite. You either love him or hate him, and a few choice comments there, but I'll let you guys on social media dissect that. But he's always interesting, he's always box office, but certainly those are his views, and I think a lot of them were tongue-in-cheek, and I guess I should just say IceTime.TV don't endorse all of those views, but always entertaining to talk to him, and we'll let you guys on social media come back with what you thought of that.
I think you said all that needs to be said there, John. Devils win the draw there. A couple of seconds left to kill here, and they do so with Fournier dumping that one in. Let's get back to the hockey. That's why we're all here. Ryan Hayes over the line, gets that one in deep, and Joey Haddad is there. Gets that out of the zone. It's this onus on the Steelers, of course, to build some offense here. So difficult to do in the confines of the Big Blue Tent. They're going to give up all-round rushes like this. Haddad shoots and scores!
Well, it's a neutral zone turnover, and you can't leave your netminder out to dry, but again, it's a goal that's gone through a gap where maybe he should make that save. We'll see a replay in a moment. Right now, I think about putting Brad Day in net and seeing if that'll generate some momentum and just protecting Pinch a little bit as this game goes on, but it's a neutral zone turnover. There's a slip which opens up ice. Joey Haddad goes in. It's not the hardest shot in the world. I think maybe you're making a save on that, so I'd be looking down the bench right now and maybe looking at Brad Day, and I think we are in fact getting that change.
Haddad is second of the night, is 13th on the season, and he's been so good on that line with Culligan and Lord, and it's just rewards for that line, who I think has been excellent for the Devils since it's been put together. Great to see them find some offense.
Well, I agree with you. We're calling them the energy line, but it's an energy line with an awful lot of quality. Chris Culligan is one of the best playmakers on the team, just behind Joey Martin perhaps. Andrew Lord, great strength, protects the puck so well, drives the net, and Joey Haddad is a very, very good goal scorer. So whilst it's an energy line, it's also a high quality offensive line, and it's certainly seen off Pinch this evening. Merritt Pinch has gone to the bench, and Brad Day, who was very impressive in a game against the Devils earlier in the season when he secured the win when Tyler Plant had to go off, he's going to have to see out this game. And you wonder what the response will be for the Steelers. Is the game gone? Do they turn it up physically? Do they play this out in a passive sense? I can't imagine the Devils-Steelers third period playing out in a passive sense, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Day backstopped the Steelers to a revival against the Greyhead Clan earlier in the season as well. But of course, you look forward then to next weekend, that the Devils go up to the Sheffield Arena to play there, and tonight's had a little bit of that feel about it, that back-to-back feel, and any game between these two sides, crucial, you would feel, the outcome heading into the final moments of the season. Chance for the Steelers straight away there, and Bounds with a nice play in the end, heads up to Zach Cavato, to Jake Morissette, but it's just a bit too far for him, and Rod Sarich will go back and reclaim the puck. The outlet is there. It's Connie Stromberg to make the pass over to Russ Moyer, but it's easily cut out by the Devils. And Ryan Russell will get that back to Josh Batch. Nearly 1:30 gone then in the third period. Devils 6-1 now up against the Steelers. Certainly not a scoreline we envisaged, but then perhaps with the way results have gone in this building between these two sides, perhaps it could have been foreseen. And look forward to the interviews after the game if it remains this way, but no doubt the Steelers will continue to play hard with an eye towards that follow-up game in the Sheffield Arena next weekend. Fired in from Luke Piggott, who's getting a shift now. Brad Day will make the save, and Zach Fitzgerald is there now. Piggott out there with Culligan and Jones. That one gets fired in, the Devils' fourth line shift. Jason Coyle is there now with a heads up and speed, gets the shot in, easy save for Ben Bounds, and again the Devils will look to get the wheels in motion. Kirker fires, and see Kirker there with an eye for goal. Good save from Brad Day, and he's just handled that rebound well, but the Devils will feel there might be some chance for some more offense here as the Steelers press with the backup in goal. Nearly 2.5 gone in the third.
Well, you're absolutely right. You see it there. There's no hesitation from Kirker. As soon as he steps over the blue line, he's looking to put the puck on net. On the half boards there, Doucette golfs at that, trying to get it on net, and Day makes the save. Day is a good netminder, but he's young. He hasn't played in this building before. I think the Devils will try and get as many pucks to the net now as possible.
Steelers get a hold of the puck now. Here's Jeff Legui over to Ryan Hayes. That one gets pushed into the zone. The weak shot. Legui is there now. Steelers keep this line together with Ryan Hayes and Legui. It was impressive last night against Nottingham, but so far too much luck other than the power play goal for the Steelers. That one fired in by the Devils. As the intensity and the speed of this game has been played out, has certainly dropped off a little bit, but you could blame the players in a 6-1 environment. Steelers look to create some offense here though with Ryan Hayes. Hayes shoots, good save it was from Ben Bounds. And important for Hayes as well from a personal point of view. He scored last night, but to keep that momentum going, and good save from Brad Day. Hasn't been productive for the Edinburgh Capitals in his last 11 or 12 games or so, but you can imagine there were other factors coming into play here. But it'll be important for his confidence individually as well that he gets off to a good start in Sheffield.
Absolutely, and he did last night. He scored the game-tying goal, and I think he'll settle. He's got good wheels. He looks to release the puck pretty quickly. He's got a good release, and he's got that hard edge to his game, bit of a nasty side. So with all due respect and mean this as a compliment, he looks like a Sheffield Steelers type player for me. So I think over the course of the remainder of this season, he will be a good addition.
Henricks keeps that in the zone, and it's pushed around the boards by Jake Morissette. Cavato has it. But it's is dispossessed, and Zach Fitzgerald will come away with the puck. Here's Levi Nelson. Lead pass to Cullen Eddy. Here's Frederick Vestberg, apologies. Shot comes in, Fitzgerald scores!
Well, if there's a man who deserves a goal, I think it's Zach Fitzgerald, because I've been mightily impressed with him tonight. The Devils have dropped off the point pace a little bit, and their coverage there was poor. I think it was Stromberg who got away in the corner, and we've talked about his good vision and ability to dish the puck. Saw Fitzgerald come in late, and it's a great release. It's, my apologies, it's Vestberg. I'm going to call one of those right tonight, but it's Vestberg to Fitzgerald, and the Devils have backed off. The winger isn't out challenging the shooter. It's just one step in from Fitzgerald, and that's a rasping wrist shot to the top right-hand corner, and oh, strange things have happened. The game's not dead yet.
It is indeed Fitzgerald, no deflection on the play. Fournier shoots that in. Well, the goaltending changes work for the Steelers. The Devils perhaps accountable as well with that pace being dropped off. But certainly the Steelers playing with that jump that Paul Thompson will want from his side. Devils work it down low but can't get a way through. We'll get a whistle there with 15:46 left in the third.
And hopefully we do get a chance to talk to Paul Thompson after the game, because it'd be interesting to ask a few questions, particularly about those penalty calls in the second period. There'd be one I'd be interested to get a take on. And with regard to Marek Pinch, was he pulled there just to give him a little bit of a breather because he wasn't getting the protection in front of him, or was Paul Thompson just thinking he wasn't performing so well, being comfortable in his environment in this building? Very interesting to find out what the Steelers coach makes of this game after we conclude.
Jason Coyle there intercepts the puck, fires it in on bounds, and in the end the save is made. It was a little unorthodox, and then Hotham and Richardson and Waugh will come together, and we know the way Matthew Waugh plays in front of the crease of the opposition goaltender. Bounds a little fortuitous there, makes the save, but he does so. 4.5 gone in the third. Devils win the draw. It goes back to Andrew Hotham, who then goes to his defensive partner Mark Richardson, and away goes Joey Martin. Martin will fire that in once he got over the red line. Kirker chasing there to put pressure on Coyle in the corner. It's turned over, but well blocked out front. Shot comes in again, and it's just about saved by Brad Days, giving up some rebounds, but the Steelers are getting there in front of him to that puck. And here's Ryan Hayes. Hayes in on goal, looks to pull a move. Hayes shoots and scores. Ryan Hayes.
Ali, the Devils have to wake up. This game isn't over. Andrew Hotham there was very lackadaisical, didn't get his positioning right, allowed Hayes to blow past him and didn't get back in the game there. Hayes gets 2 chances, good save from Bounds on the first one. If we see this replay, maybe the guys on the next one can take it back a little bit further and just see Hotham's starting position. Never gets back into the play on Hayes. Bounds makes a good first save, but Hayes recovers the puck, and it's a 6-3 hockey game. Still plenty of time left, 15 minutes and 6 seconds. The Devils need to regroup here, and for the last 3 or 4 shifts, they've been very relaxed, very lackadaisical, and it's costing them goals right now.
Hayes is 27th on the season, and it's the Devils need to get back to doing a professional job here, and right now it's anything but. The way the Steelers are playing, they sense an opportunity as well. That shot gets through, and Bounds not getting a lot of help from his defenseman. Away go the Devils though. The Steelers will still have to press, and Luke Piggott is getting a shift out there to bring some energy to this Devils side, and he gets it up to Jake Morissette. Might be a chance out front, but it's cut out. Havata was there. This is certainly an energy shift from Andrew Law. The chance out front, but it can't get through. Morissette will get onto that now, and I think certainly these players there for the Devils to try and generate something. Lord on the ice himself now. Gets the turnover but loses his stick. Here come the Steelers again. A little bit of jump in their legs. Good save from Ben Bounds. Plenty of time left in this hockey. A big save from Bounds. That was off the chance, and the Devils are set free. Here's Chris Culligan. Plenty of Steelers back though. It's the Steelers who look like the side that are 6-3 up right now the way they're playing, and Levi Nelson will skate. The atmosphere is back in the building, as certainly there's a feeling here that the Devils could give up. The Steelers look more likely to score.
I wonder whether a timeout might come into play here. The Devils need to settle themselves that down. You're right, the Steelers have jump in their legs, they're creating chances, and the Devils haven't woken up. They're still allowing the Steelers to drive those skating lanes to the net and get secondary opportunities on bounds. It's keeping the Devils in the game right now.
Yeah, and in some ways that early goal for the Devils there, wouldn't they get a replay coming up now?
Well, I asked the guys to take this a little bit further back to see whether we can see Andrew Hocken's starting position. He sees the play developing there, and he doesn't really alter his stance to get there. I don't think he's really pushing hard to get back into that play. I just think from a quality defenseman, that's a little bit lackadaisical, and hopefully for the Devils' perspective, that's the wake-up call they needed.
Yeah, and then still just looking for the poke check when he had an opportunity to get body position on Hayes as well. So we waxed lyrical about obviously how wonderful a defenseman Andrew Hoffen is, the league's leading, but that time there, and you just look for the key players to lead as well, and top players need to keep playing that in that way that the coach will want. And if people like Andrew Lord start stepping off a little bit, this might be another chance now. He'll have to make a big play here, and that is a good play on Guillaume Devienne, and then perhaps other players follow. Right now though, Andrew Hoffen comes back with a good defensive shift, and we'll get that puck out of the zone. Good response from him. The Steelers, you would imagine, are going to be giving up the odd man rush here or there with looking for these extra goals to come back into this game. But for the Devils, they're giving up one or two too many as well. For a side that is leading at 1 point by 5 goals. Chance down low again, and the Steelers finding it all too easy to find room in front of Ben Bounds as well. And that's when you start looking at things like compete level as well, and the Devils need to find that extra gear again as they've dropped off. It's notable. Bounds with a good save. There was no call on the earlier play, and no too many men there as Jace Coyle made a good job of getting onto the bench in time. 12:29 left in the third. Jake Morissette has it now. Goes back to Carl Hudson. Hudson goes up to Ryan Russell. Russell will skate with speed over the blue line and dump it in. Vacavato. Tangle there. Saric does enough to clear. Here's Matthew Waugh with a good pass. And at speed is Ryan Hayes with the latest Steelers goal. Back to Matthew Waugh. He looked to have found a bit of chemistry, and here's Waugh. Waugh out front. Oh, and perhaps he could have shot there in the end. He went to Frederick Vestberg, but again, Hayes acres a room out front if the puck gets to him. Hayes looks to get on the end of that one, but the Devils just about do enough through Ryan Russell. Under 12 minutes to go in the third.
Alex, you're exactly right. Why does Waugh not put that puck on net? What a deadly sniper he is. He's cut across the crease. He's got the opportunity to put the puck on net. Doesn't need the pass. That's a let-off for the Devils.
Steelers caught on a bad change. Here's Joey Haddad. He'll put the brakes on. Going to the net is Andrew Lord, who has it now. Andrew Lord will look to try and get some zone time for the Devils. Chris Culligan is there. Fires it out front. The chance is there, but it's the Steelers again who pick up on the loose puck. And away with speed they go. Crashing the net is Levi Nelson. But Connie Stromberg puts the brakes on and turns it over to Chris Culligan, who gets it out of the zone, but just a little bit ahead of Andrew Lord, and Frederick Vestberg will go back and get a hold of that puck. Stromberg gets it in deep. The chase is on for Nelson. Hurker battles with him, but it's Jason Hewitt stepping onto the ice who has the puck now. Bobbles over the stick of Stromberg, and Batch will have to battle in the corner. Does well enough for Joey Haddad to be able to clear. Josh Batch will get that out of the zone just about. Jace Coyle will go back to Ben O'Connor with a nice pass. Look at that pass at Guillaume Devienne, who just gets enough on it to get it in the zone for Jason Hewitt and Jonathan Phillips. Steelers looking for a good third line shift. Phillips gets it in on net, and Devienne will chase. Set gets to that back, but out comes Devienne. Good shot and a good save from Ben Bounds, who's having to work a lot harder in this period. Bouncing play out front than he did in the first two. Away go the Devils. 3-on-3 situation. Doucette with Martin, but there's an offside on the play. 10:23 left in the third.
The Devils are running around their own zone at the moment, and they're just second to the puck. You're right, the compete level has dropped, whereas the Steelers has risen, and those little crucial puck battles on the boards at the moment, the Steelers are winning, and as a result, creating good zone time in the Devils' end. And the Devils are hanging on a little bit right now, and they just need to put one or two good shifts together to calm the place down, get the fans back into it, and stifle that Steelers momentum.
Here are the Devils. Vato looking to crash the net, but is boxed out by Russ Moyer. I think Morissette has it now. Morissette will fire that one down low for Ryan Russell to chase, the former Columbus Blue Jacket. Ryan Russell there. Back to Hoffman. Hoffman through traffic. There's a screen out front, but it doesn't find a way through. In a tangle is Havato, who does get straight off the ice, so there'll be no call on that play. And the Steelers will come again. Devils back the 5 skaters with Havato getting to the bench quickly. Matiwa goes back to Russ Moyer, looks for the lead pass to Ryan Hayes, but there were too many Devils there, and the Steelers have delayed offside. 9:38 left in the third, as the Devils look to have just upped the ante a little bit. Certainly from the point where they conceded those 2 quick goals. Andrew Law gets it over to Haddad, who shoots. A good save from Brad Day, who still hasn't let one in since coming in to relieve Marek Pitch. The chances there out front on the backhand, but a good defensive play from Zach Fitzgerald, who joins the rush and has the puck now. He'll get that into the zone and try and get that deep, but a good cut-out takeaway from Carl Hudson, who'll put the Jets on now to get out of the zone, but Frederick Vestberg reads the play beautifully and will keep it in for Tony Stromberg. Working down low they are. Cullen Eddy will just fire it through. Good save from Bounds again. It was a bouncing puck and was a difficult one for Bounds to save. Andrew Lord on the puck now, as the Devils need to find a way free. Chris Culligan does enough to get it to Gleason Fournier, who'll get the Jets on himself as the Devils make changes. Around the helmet goes Fournier. Haddad is at net. He flashes it across the face of goal. The big shot comes in. Kirker winds up. He really fancies a goal tonight, you feel. Stepping onto the ice was Trevor Hendricks, who stopped the rushing Guillaume Debienne from getting into the zone, fires it in. We get a whistle with 8:30, 8:28 indeed by the time the whistle goes left in the third.
Yeah, Alan, I just think the Devils' decision-making has to get back to being a little smarter. I don't understand why Kyle Hudson a moment ago is trying to skate that puck through the crease with pressure on his back, with guys, Sheffield players forechecking towards him. The potential of a turnover there is very, very high. It's not a good percentage play. You're 6-3 up. Just rim the puck around the boards, get it out of the zone. That's your job right now. The Devils have got to get back to making smart hockey decisions.
Ross Batch has a delayed penalty on the play here, though, so relief for the Devils. Tom Darnell has his hand up. We'll keep an eye on that when the whistle goes, and that's a timely penalty for the Steelers to take, or certainly in favour of the Cardiff Devils here, who'll go to the power play with 8:17 left in the third.
And I think it's going to be a high sticking call, because Tom Darnell's just going to cross to Trevor Hendricks to see whether there was any blood on the continuingly bushy beard of Trevor Hendricks. We'll wait to see if there is. I think it's just going to be the 2. It was behind the play, but as you rightly say, a timely penalty, an unfortunate penalty from Steelers, 150 feet from their own net. When they got the momentum in the game, it doesn't need to happen, so a little bit of a break there for the Devils.
It is on the power play now with Hoffman with a no-look pass to Joey Martin. Out front there's a chance there, as it didn't quite work for the Devils. It was Ryan Russell looking for his second goal in 2 games. It is indeed high sticks. We then get a whistle, then a bit of a rugby tackle as well. Well, more of a sumo, a judo throw. Sorry, John.
No, you're right.
I wish I'd should have studied my other sports.
It's just for clarification, it's Debienne who's gone to the penalty box for the Steelers, but Jonathan Phillips is asking for one back there. Hudson on the little takedown, not in control of his stick, and he does catch Phillips in the chops basically. So Phillips is just looking around and saying, hey, you know, you took one of our guys, maybe take Hudson as well. But we're going to remain on the power play here for the Devils.
Joey Martin will take the draw for the Devils and win it. It goes back to Carl Hudson. Hudson looks to work inside, takes the shot, then just fires it through. Joey Martin down low, and the pressure shot comes in. It's well blocked again as the Steelers protect Brad Day well, but he's made some good saves as well so far, and just gets fired out of the zone. Andrew Hoffman is there with a pass at Jake Morissette. Might be an odd man opportunity here. Morissette is there, works his way inside. Morissette still going, but it's good play. Jace Coyle that time did enough to get Morissette away from the puck. 1:23 left for the Devils to work with on this power play. The Steelers don't manage to clear the zone yet, but then we get a whistle and a break in play. 7:33 left in the third, 1:16 left in the power play.
Alan, would Jake Morissette win the award for most underrated player in the league? Because he just goes around 2 men there. His offensive talent and his stick handling skill is fantastic. We saw it on the goal in the second period where he just outweighted and froze everybody. But yet we think about him as this almost this workhorse type player who blocks shot and kills penalties. He's up there in the highest ranks of the scoring charts. Really the most underrated player in the league for me. 17 goals on the season, over 40 points already. He's a point-a-game player, and also he's one of those guys that makes any line he plays on better. Here's Chris Culligan, 58 seconds, another player who does just that as well. 55 seconds left for this Devils power play. Here's Vincent Fournier with a nice pass up to Joey Haddad. Rick wide it was, that one goes around the boards, back to Fournier. Over it goes now. Richardson down low again to Joey Haddad. Doucette is waiting to fire that puck in.
Back it goes now. Doucette shoots. Good save it was. Good sharp save with the blocker from Day as well. Does enough to send it wide as well. Shot comes in again. They score!
Chris Culligan with the goal, but that's why Gleeson Fournier has been brought to the Cardiff Devils. Have a look at this cross-ice pass right into the shooting wheel of Culligan. It's a great save, as you rightly say, from Brad Day initially, but a little step move there. Fantastic pass in the seam to Culligan, and it's a great one-time with a Brett Hull style, going down to one knee. Fantastic goal by Culligan, but Gleeson Fournier, that's why he's been brought in. Offensive-minded defenseman who could just move the puck so well. That might be the goal that breaks the back. 7-3 to the Cardiff Devils.
Culligan gets his second in 2 games. He had the game winner last night, and that's his 5th on the season. And since he sort of regained his fitness after playing those games on defence as well, he's going at around a point a game for the Devils as well, and that's been a huge plus for him to come back after the rehab over the summer, and then at the start of this season to come back into the lineup as that genuine sentiment for the Devils.
And we should just say on a lighter note, Andy Culligan, his dad, came over just before the game, and he heard the comment last night that he refused an interview because he's not match fit. He wanted to clarify he is match fit, and he actually challenged Aled and myself to a little bit of a duel. So we'll be dropping the gloves with Andy Culligan next week on IceTime.TV.
What's this we job? That's between you and him.
Team toughness, Aled, team toughness.
6:20 left then in the third. That goal just about should have turned the tide enough now that it's just a step too far for the Steelers, but for a moment there it looked as though there may even be a way back in. Good stand-up play on Chris Jones on the blue line there from Zach Fitzgerald. Who else? The credit to the Steelers the way they come back in this third, because we were sort of getting the deck chairs out a little bit, John. We thought we had a bit of a tame third and we could have a bit of a chill and start relaxing, but no, it's been a really exciting third period to call all the same, and that competitive edge, not a surprise perhaps between the league's top 2 teams at this point in the season. Down low it is for the Devils. Ryan Russell working his way out front, but it doesn't find a Devil there, and the Steelers will get a chance to come away. Jace Coyle will skate and fire that in, and I'm impressed with his endeavour. He's played the game the same way all night. Luke Ferrara getting a shift now. Well, shoot, he had a goal last night as well. Surprised perhaps not to see him with 1 or 2 more shifts earlier on in this hockey game. Here's Guillaume Devienne, shoots it in, and Bounds makes the save. 5:11 left in the third period. Luke Piggott is on the ice as well for the Devils. Shot comes in from Coyle through traffic that deflects wide, and Piggott will get a hold of the puck. Almost turns it over to Jeff LeGuy there, but does enough, and both sides will make their changes.
I would agree with you on Coyle, Alan. I think he's been one of the more impressive performers for the Steelers tonight. Carries the puck so well, skates very well, also takes the body and clears the net, and I think he's a good pickup from Paul Thompson, bringing him over, having played, or coached against him, I should say, in Sweden last year. Yeah, he's been one of my standouts for the Steelers tonight.
Good lead pass that time, and it's Russ Moyer jumping into the play. Ryan Hayes will get a hold of the puck now and fire it through, but Joey Haddad reads that play well ahead of Matthew Waugh, will get the puck away from him. Gleeson Fournier dumps that in. We've got a delay call, yeah, we're going to get an icing here, so they'll all come back to the Devils' zone. 4:19 left in the third.
And a word for Brad Day, because I think he's come in and he has conceded that goal, but he's made 1 or 2 good saves. Nothing seems to faze this young man. I was commentating with Seth Bennett when he went in nets in a Devils Steelers game earlier in the season. I think the Devils actually had the lead at that point in the game, and the Steelers came back and took the victory, and Day didn't concede a goal. So he's obviously a young man with a calm head on his shoulders. Nothing seems to faze him.
Gleeson Fournier will skate away now. It's there with Joey Haddad. Haddad looks to come in, shoots, just fires wide that time. It'll come all the way back. 4:05 left in the third period. Another sold-out game in Cardiff Bay. Half of the course now, John. Of course, this game might have been in Ice Arena Wales at one point, but while there's less numbers here, there's certainly an atmosphere, and as has been said so often, difficult place for any team to come. The Steelers definitely one of the sides that find it the most difficult coming here, and I certainly think there are some sides that have found a way to play in here. You look at Manchester, you look at Dundee, Nottingham, but the Steelers finding it really difficult. Fitzgerald steps up again. He's running around a little bit here as well. I wonder whether we'll see anything else here. He's not able to get engaged in another fight, I believe, without getting tossed from the game. There's only 3 minutes left anyway, so it wouldn't make a huge difference. but we'll see whether the Devils do have any reaction to Zach Fitzgerald. And I think while his play was certainly clean for the most part, there's just one or two little things going on now from him that perhaps might catch the attention of the Devils. Here are the Steelers, 3 minutes left in this third period, and you feel reasonably confident in saying final period as well, John. Even the biggest pessimist amongst us would struggle to, or in this building would struggle to see the Steelers getting another 4 goals to tie this one up with 2 minutes and 44 left. Hit along the boards from Bois. Devils will work it though with Martin. Might be a chance out front. Guillaume Doucet was looking for something there. Good lead pass as well, and away goes Mathieu Bois. Over to Luc Ferrara, getting a shift. Shoots it in on goal. Good save from Bounds as well. And then Bois will just give him a little bump as well. As the Devils will just tidy things up in their own zone. But a good play again from Ferrara. We didn't want to see a call. There might have been a high stick there on Ferrara, but it wasn't called by Tom Darnell. 2:15 left in the third. Steelers turn it over, but only as far as Beeson Fournier. Guillaume Doucet will skate away over the red line as the Devils make their changes. Here come the Steelers, 1:53 left in this third period. Ryan Hayes will put pressure on Bounds, but it's up to Chris Jones who gets it past Ben O'Connor. Steelers with a chance. Hayes will shoot. Good save from Bounds. A quick shot. Hayes will get another chance. Another good save from Bounds there. As you can see why Hayes has so many goals. Away that quick release. And then a collision off the puck between Haddad and Hayes, and then Hayes and Nelson. And just took a little pause there just to get another chance. We will, because the atmosphere in this building, as it has been the last few weeks, has been something to behold. And we hope it's translating to you somewhat on your screens at home. Good save from Bradley there. Sometimes the best thing to do is to say nothing at all, isn't it?
Maybe just let the pictures and the crowd noise speak for itself. And I mean this as a compliment to the Sheffield Steelers. There was a chant earlier in this period from the Devils fans of "We are number one," and I know that means an awful lot to a lot of long-standing Devils fans, because in the late 80s, early 90s, it was the Devils who were really setting the benchmark for British ice hockey. But credit to the Sheffield Steelers, since the mid to late 90s onwards, really, Sheffield Steelers have been the benchmark, and the Cardiff Devils have been chasing the Sheffield Steelers. Well, finally they might just about caught them. The Steelers might take this league title this year, but it's great to have these two old rivals back playing each other.
Wonderful words from John Donovan there, who's seen it all, as we get a little bit of a tangle as well. Piggott and Fitzgerald on the buzzer. I don't think Piggott's going to drop the gloves with Zach Fitzgerald. We'll see if anything comes of that, but it's the Devils who rout the Sheffield Steelers 7-3 on home ice. Huge top of the table clash, but it's the Devils who come out on top. There was a little bit of a wobble in the third period, but there was just too much class on the power play in particular, too much intensity, and the net mining duel was won by Ben Bounds. The Devils sit pretty at the top of the Elite League.
And what a big weekend for the Cardiff Devils, Alan. Lest we forget that last night they beat the Belfast Giants in this building, so that's 2 wins against 2 title rivals and 4 points, creating a little bit of separation. The Steelers now know that even if they win their 2 games in hand, the Devils will still be 2 points in front. So a huge weekend for the Cardiff Devils. Credit to the Sheffield Steelers, they made this an entertaining game. They did have a number of good performers. I thought Fitzgerald was good all game. Coyle we talked about, but the Devils really, I do feel they have more offensive depth across those 3 lines, and it has told in this building. And yes, you rightly say the power plays were key, but you've still got to make those power play chances count. and across the 2 games of the weekend, the Devils were deadly on the power play.
Steelers, of course, missing some key personnel in Tyler Mostenko and Robert Dowd, who are so good as well on that forecheck. They are cutting out one of the main Devils' offensive weapons, that transition play. But in this building, the Steelers just seem to have struggled to find a way to play this season, and the Devils know so much about playing in this building as well.
Absolutely, and as David Sims said in the period interview we did with him, maybe the Steelers just aren't designed to play in this building. They like the open spaces of the Sheffield Arena. I spoke in the first period when I was fortunate enough to be invited up by Seth Bennett to call a game there this season. It was noticeable how their defensemen back up, walk the blue lines, like to create space, feed pucks through to dangerous areas, and you just can't do that in this building, and the Steelers are struggling, and I think they'll be very pleased to see the back of this big blue tent.
We await the Man of the Match awards, and we'd just like to make an apology if there are any viewers who've had their stream disrupted tonight. Reasons beyond the control of IceTime.TV, I'm told, but just to relay our apologies if there's been any situations like that.
Honestly, I heard it was Alid's fault, so please send any complaints to Alid on Twitter.
Probably deliberate, just to cut me off. It wouldn't surprise me. But of course, as we see Jeff LeGuy step forward for the Steelers to take the Man of the Match award. Of course, you can follow IceTime.TV at IceTime.TV on Twitter, and on the YouTube channel, of course, where all the highlights will be there. John will be rushing over in a moment to get the post-game interviews. We hope you'll get a chance to speak to Paul Thompson as well, who's usually very good at giving interviews, win or lose. And of course, Andrew Lord on his thoughts, as well as the Devils Man of the Match. We'll wait to see who that will be. And we'll keep following the IceTime.TV Twitter account, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well to be first to see those highlights and interviews and content throughout the week as well. Jeff LeGuy, Man of the Match for the Steelers.
Well, it could have been a hard choice tonight. No real standouts. I thought you were never going to give it to Fitzgerald because he would have been booed out of the building. I thought he was great. I thought he laid hits all over the ice. He played a hard-edged game and set a tempo. So he probably would have been my standout guy. I thought Levi Nelson was probably the other one who stood out for me, along with Coyle, as you mentioned. So those would have been my 3, but Jeff LeGuy, a quality performer, maybe a more quiet game tonight in this building, which he's dominated in previous years, but he takes home the beer.
Yeah, I think certainly your choice there reflect my opinion, and Fitzgerald with a goal as well. Let's not forget everything else he did as well. But, a good goal too, but we just await. We've had the big check, and we pay homage to Gareth Hewish, of course, at this moment that we always do. Such a big fan of the big check, and I'm sure he's in tears of joy right now at home, our colleague on IceTime.TV, and he'll be here next weekend for commentary of the Devils' next home game, John.
Yeah, next Sunday, you'll be pleased to know, I think it's my night off, so you get to hear Alid and Gareth, so you can turn the volume back up, you can put the paracetamol away. I'll be taking a rest.
I think I'm going to need a couple of weeks off after this weekend, to be honest, John. It's taking its toll, but I've got to as well. I've got to make a mention here, a little bit personal here. My parents are down for the weekend, watching these games from mid Wales, about 3 hours away. Haven't seen the Devils lose. So really, we owe everything to them.
They could be the most important signing of the season. Todd Kelman gets them limousine and season to get down here. But you know, all jokes aside, a huge weekend for the Cardiff Devils. 4-point weekend against the Belfast Giants and the Sheffield Steelers. And Joey O'Dowd is the Devils man of the match, and scoring a couple of crucial goals tonight. One in the second period, and then one at the start of the third. And another one of those unsung heroes. He's high up on the scoring charts. He's got 30-plus points, but maybe a guy you don't notice like Jake Morissette. But a couple of crucial goals tonight, and the Devils team mob him, and there's just a feel-good factor in this building right now.
Both sides came into this game with 4-game win streaks that they were trying to protect. It's the Devils who go 5 now out of those 5 games. The Steelers with the loss then to end that 4-game win streak. But the Devils were struggling a little bit in the first couple of games of the new year. Talk a little bit about the way they bounced back here with those 5 straight wins now. A lot of character in this team as well.
Oh, it's huge, and it goes right back to that conversation with Neil Francis, when Neil Francis said the team that wins the league is the one that's going to, keep their losing streaks to a minimum. And the Devils did come out of Christmas, a little bit downhearted maybe, and maybe people were asking questions. Were there going to be new signings? Chris Culligan, as we know, described that Christmas period as a little bit of a slog. But the Devils management trust this team and want this team to achieve. They released the resources for two key signings in Gleason Fournier and Ryan Russell. New impetus, and just the last 5 games completely professional, but that high-octane offense, that depth of offense across 3 lines at the moment is making the difference in these big games, these clutch games, as we await the bouncy wave. For a Cardiff Devils fan right now, it feels pretty good.
We're going to leave you with Ben Bounds and the Devils fans. What a fitting way to end. We thank you for joining us on IceTime.TV. Alan Lloyd alongside John Donovan, from Howard, our wonderful cameraman, and all the guys in the truck who brought you the stream tonight. Thanks so much for joining us on the programme. The Devils play the Fife Flyers next weekend. Sunday night coverage will begin at 5:30 live on IceTime.TV. The Devils sit top of the Elite League, routing the Sheffield Steelers 7-3 on home ice. We'll see you next time.